Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back. The Rad Dudes reunited for the first time in 2025. Cody, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I thought you were going to say the first time in 20 years.
It feels like that, though, doesn't it?
Well, it's because earlier I was watching your stream last night and you were talking about how it's the 10th episode. And I keep calling it the 10th anniversary in my head. I was like, well, that would mean that we're doing this for 10 years.
Isn't that crazy, though? Because, I feel like in one aspect, I feel like we've done more than 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's strange. I was looking at the episode listing, which you guys can check out on my playlist. We have all the Rad Dudes episodes, and it's episode 10, I guess, and that's pretty good to start off 2025 with the big episode 10, which is awesome. And man, we have a pretty cool show tonight. We're gonna take it back into time, and we're gonna talk a little Mickey D's, aka McDonald's, and not just McDonald's, but our memories of McDonald's and especially the big things, man, the Happy Meals, dude. I don't even know if that's as big of a thing as it is now. Like, it doesn't seem like it because they're just come in bags and shit now. Like, we had the boxes and stuff. Like, it was a real deal back then. And I'm sure you have a lot of memories with that as well, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now I it's funny too because whenever I go to McDonald's, I still look to see what their toys are, and they're never really anything like that cool. But I still see that they have the boys and girls toys, like the separate toys, which is pretty funny. But they're nothing as like they used to. But I think it's funny that when they announce like the adult Happy Meals, those go so fast. Like us, we're the ones that still care about those Happy Meals, and those adult Happy Meals, man. I know they're not cheap.
No, they're not. What were they, like $20 or something?
Yeah, dude. I was just like, there's no way I can collect these. I was watching this thing. I was doing some research last night, and they were saying, so a Happy Meal was $1.99 back when we were getting Happy Meals, and they had 2 toys a week, and they had a total of 8 toys. So that would be like $12 for each toy, or something like that. They said now that would be like $56 a month to get all the toys, or each run. To get every one of the toys would be like $56. Back then it was like $16.
Yeah. As much as $56 for all the toys seems insane, at the same time you kind of like, I guess it's not that bad. You get 8 toys.
I know, really.
Like it's that's how crazy the world is right now, and it's so wild to think about that. But I mean, I think it's more mind-blowing that it was so cheap because you kind of got a lot for a little kid. You got like a burger, fries, and a drink, or nuggets, fries, and a drink, and a toy for like $2.
Toy, yeah. And then a lot of times they would do this thing where you could add on something like for like additional charge. Like if they had like some kind of special like glasses or something like that, you could get it for like either $1.99, or even when they had VHSs, those would be $5.99.
I was just gonna say, I remember getting Wayne's World there.
Yeah, man. I got Addams Family and Babes in Toyland there.
That is so funny because they did do some stuff with VHS for a while. I think they even sold like the Santa Claus the movie from the 80s like there at one point.
Yeah, I saw that they did. It was like they did it a few different times. It was like they called it they did it around the holidays. They call it the holiday something, and it was at first it was $5.99, and then the second time they brought it around to $6.99, which is still a great deal for a VHS.
Yeah,
back then. Yeah, they had like Wayne's World, Dances with Wolves, all kinds of cool stuff.
So sick, and I like the nice, tribute to Harriet the Spy back there, man.
Oh yeah, man, she was a big part of my life back in the day, or back in the '90s. I had a huge crush on Harriet the Spy. I remember getting the VHS. It was like it was funny because people keep posting pictures of their VHS, and it's like just the normal one. I had a clamshell of the movie, and it even came with her top secret journal that she writes in.
Really?
So, yeah. And I haven't seen anybody else post about that.
And that's what's going to be funny about this episode, because it makes me kind of go back a little bit, because Harriet the Spy, I remember, but like I was too old when that was like really in its stride. So when we talk about these trips to McDonald's and these amazing Happy Meal toys, like we're going to have different ones because we're just a little bit separated in age, where, you're probably going to be starting right where I was ending, kind of thing.
It's so great. Yeah. And I think I mentioned this before where it's like now our age gap doesn't make a difference, but when you were a kid, that age gap is a huge difference. Like you were like an old man to me when I was 5, you were whatever. And now it's
Yeah,
like we're the same exact age. It's weird how that happens. You know?
basically.
Like I always say this.
Is that a
What? Go ahead.
is that a Bobby's World shirt?
It is a Bobby's World sweatshirt. Yeah. Like,
Dude, that's sick. I mean, I was big into Bobby's World. So, I mean, how long did that show last?
Bobby's World was on for a while.
I was really big into Bobby's World. That was a great. That was like my favorite Saturday morning cartoon for a while. Like,
Dude,
I feel like
I
that was
love
like the
Bobby's
best
World.
one.
I got this.
Oh my God, look at this, dude.
This shirt here. It says it's like Uncle Ted giving him the noogie. And then it says it's noogie time.
My God. That is funny. Oh, don't you know?
Yeah, oh, don't you know it?
It's generic, right? Is that what he says?
Yeah.
Generic.
Yeah. I feel like Bobby, like I relate to Bobby more than anybody. Like when I was a kid, like somebody would say something and my mind would go off and be like exactly what he did. You know, like it's crazy. Dude, like Freddie and a whole scenario. Yeah. So yeah,
great.
And
great
yeah,
stuff,
they like Freddie and Jason were on it. It's a good show.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. Like he either wanted to watch it or he watched it one day and it was like it was scaring him and they were like chasing him in his dream. But yeah, it was pretty good.
That is a great show, man. I didn't realize it was how long it went on for, but yeah, that was a big one for me. But man, we've got almost like 50 people in here already. So awesome, guys. Thanks for being here. We'll run through, say what's up to a couple people, and then we'll get down to business because we're going to be ranking like our top 10 favorites from the McDonald's Happy Meal line growing up. And we can talk a little bit about memories and unfortunately, I do not have any of these still, which I will talk about. I know Cody said he might have some stuff there still.
I don't have them. Like I have all my McDonald's toys still, but they're all up in my grandma's attic. So I've not made that trip up there
now.
Yeah, they're all melted into one.
Into one?
Into one, probably. Yeah.
That would be so sick, like a picture where it's just like this molded mess and it just says like McDonald's Happy Meal collection and it's like
yeah,
you just see, like Batman's all big.
You know what's crazy? Even when we were kids, because my sister collected hers too, she wouldn't open hers. And I was like, what the hell? Why not? So she probably has a whole box full of ones that aren't even open.
Can you gotta do like a grandma's attic tour or something?
I know.
And like bring like a headlamp up there with like one of those like what's those little cameras you put on your head called?
A GoPro.
You gotta do the GoPro, and it's just like a first person. It's gonna see your hands like open to the boxes, like GoldenEye or something.
It's gonna end up like that. It's gonna end up like that one horror movie. Remember when they were like where they were like quarantined? I think it was called Quarantine, where they're in like the whole the apartment building, and the like the very last shot is her being pulled away. That's how it's gonna end.
I mean, the thing is, it's like there's probably so much gold up there, but I bet in some aspects you're almost afraid to look because you don't want to get upset because where you live is like it's always over 100 degrees, man.
Oh,
so imagine what that attic is like a sauna up there. I'm sure,
dude. I know. I'm afraid to open it up and be like, oh my god, like it's all has to be thrown away. Either that I'm gonna open it up.
Liquid.
Either yeah. Like either that or it's gonna be like I'm gonna get attacked by some kind of rodent, you know.
A rodent?
like a spider or something.
What up, dudes? Ephraim, what's up, man? Ephraim, how are you, dude? Just round kick the like button, Street Fighter style. I agree, man. Hit that like button. Foz Rotten's in the house, Rad Dudes. He's excited. Oh, this is like when worlds collide. Rob, you ready to go? I love it. Mm-hmm. Lenny is not here for McDonald's, but is here for the toys. Gory Tiger, what's up, man? What? Wow. Happy birthday, dude. Thanks for being here, spending time with us. Hopefully, this will be a good little birthday present for you. Good call on that one, man. It didn't make my list, but I remember it. They had like these different like magic figures. Like where you could do like not figures, but that you could do magic tricks. And I also remember they had like this little spy kit where you could like get like these different, spy like things. They're not on my list, but I do remember those.
Really?
Hot Wheel cars. Yeah, man.
That.
Magic was a big, not Magic the Gathering, but Magic was a big thing. Like when I was a kid, I remember having like a magic kit and all this stuff where you'd like, it was like plastic. It might've been like, I don't know, a play school or something. You put like this little, almost like a little chicken, a foam chicken, like in this slot. And when you move it and you open the door, it's like gone. Like, then there was like a wand where like you press a button and like the roses would pop out of the top and stuff like that.
Wow.
Gus, what's up? Let me see. Blu-ray Addict in the house. Sorry, guys, if I'm skipping over. We'll get back to you. What up, Big Rod? Oh, Tiana Loves Movies is here. What's up, Kid Eek? I love Rad Dudes Night. Well, hopefully you stick around and enjoy the show. John Doe Juggalo, what is going on? Adrian James in the house. James Johnson, what is going on, man? And we got Cody. Find Cody, my sidekick at Dude Who Loves Movies. That's his channel right there. Go check it out if you're not subscribed to his channel. McDonald's toys are so rad. Lenny wants you to nibble on the like button. I agree. Whatever you need to do it now. Father. Antonis, what's up, man? Let's see. Who else is popping through? What is all this? 10 gifts. What is this, dude?
I just bought 10 memberships for people. I'm very thankful for you guys being here. This could be something that people really enjoy or they really don't. This is something very niche. So I'm very happy and excited that you guys are here to talk to us about McDonald's back in the 90s and 80s. So I don't know how that works. So I don't know if you hit it and you can get a membership. I don't know how that works. But.
I've actually never seen this before. So yeah. I don't know if it's gifted memberships, but what a great, thank you for doing that, by the way. And what a great time to do it, because with a membership on the channel, you get access to like members only streams. And we're going to be doing a live Radpack stream for members only at the end of the month. And we'll all be together too. So it's going to be a fun time as we rummage through Justin's house to find the weirdest shit we can find and showcase for you guys. So it'll be cool that you guys will be here to check that out. But Chad, what's up, man? Thanks for being here, dude. Chad at Horror Movie Barbecue wants to talk about Mario 3 toys. I'm sure those will probably get brought up. What up, dude? Basement Blues Tony is in the house. He wants to talk about the McDonald's classic. We can get into that as well. Yeah, Spook House podcast. I was just on this podcast. Go check out them over there. What is up, man? Thanks for being here. Fachi, man. 1/4 of the Radsman. How do you say it? 1/4? Yeah.
1/4. Yeah. 1/4.
1/4 of the Radsman. What's up, man? How you doing? Ninja Turtle, Ninja Alex, TMNT Collectors in the house. Ela is here. Wow, guys, you guys are popping in. So thank you, everybody who is here right now. Appreciate this. We will get into it now. We're going to talk McDonald's. All right. Now, as a kid, I was obsessed with McDonald's, and I'm sure like most kids are. McDonald's, in my opinion, was just looked at very differently when I was a kid than what it's looked at like now. Like you hear like, oh, we're going to go to McDonald's. Everybody's like, oh, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But like back when I was a kid, it was almost like it was such a treat or like a treasure. And 100. It does. And again, is it us being adults and everything in our bodies changing? But I'm telling you right now, it tasted different to me back then. Like, it really did. And I don't know if it's because they've changed the way that they do things over there, but like, I have it now, which I barely ever do, but it's like, I get this weird, like slimy feeling like in my chest for like an hour afterwards. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But like, I don't know what it is. Do you feel that it does taste different than what you remember as a kid?
Well, the price is the thing that gets me now. It's like, if you have like a family of 4, man, that's easy $65, man. It's like, what the hell's going on? Like when I go now, like, as I remember, like in high school, even I would always get like a large fry and a drink, just like if I was just like at the mall or something, it'd be like all together, it'd be like $4. Now a large fry is like $5 and the drink is $1.50. It's like, what? How is a large fry like $5? And then what sucks is like I did that recently and someone was like, oh, if you have the app, it's only $1 for a fry. It's like, well, why can't you just give it?
Is that a real story?
Yes, this is what they told. That's what the lady told me, and I was like, what? Like, it made no sense to me. It's like, wait, why? Well, why if I have the app, it's $1?
It
Like, it
doesn't
just makes,
make any sense.
dude. Let me tell you.
Go ahead, go nuts, man. Let's go. Go nuts. Go nuts.
So this was at Jack in the Box. So I go to Jack in the Box one night. So I've a couple stories about Jack in the Box. I go to Jack in the Box one night, and the person comes on the intercom, and they're like, sorry, we're only taking or no, they asked me if I have Uber Eats or if I'm Uber Eats or whatnot. And I said, no, I'm just here to order. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we can only give it to Uber Eat people. Or, if you order through Uber Eats. So I'm like, so if I pull over and order on Uber Eats, I can come back through and get the food? They're like, yeah. I was like, that makes no sense to me either.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was like, so you want me to pull over, order, and then come back through and get the food? And they're like, yes. Like, that's basically what they told me. I was like, oh my goodness. And
Well,
then
I
there's
have a
this
story to kind of piggyback on that, because my friend Ryan messaged me, and my friend Ryan and I were all like, when we were in our 20s, it was like Taco Bell. We were like obsessed with Taco Bell. And he called me one night and he was like, hey, did you hear Taco Bell's doing some kind of like Cheez-It meal or something? I was like, oh, I heard about that. He's like, I'm going to go try it. You want to come for a ride? I'm like, sure. So we get there and we go to the thing, and he goes, do you guys have the Cheez-It meal? And they're like, oh yeah. And he's like, I'll have one of those. And they're like, oh, you got to order it on the app. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? And she's like, you got to order on the app. And he's like, so you have it? They're like, yeah. And he's like, well, I just want one. She's like, no, you have to order on the app. He's like, it's right. If you have it, like, why can't you just give it to me?
I
like,
know.
No, like it was like an app exclusive.
Exclusive?
So like, you couldn't even like, so you drive up and it's like, they have it right there, but they can't hand it to you unless you, so we had to go back around. He had to like download the app, put his info in, order it, and then go back around and pick it up. It was like, dude, what the hell is going on here?
Was it good at least?
Wild. I didn't have it. He had it. He said it was, he was like, I wouldn't get it again, he said. But like, it's just the idea of like, wait, you could literally hand it to me right now, but you're not going to, because I have to order it through a computer instead of just telling you. Like, is that like where everything's going to be going? You know what I mean? Like, it's wild to me.
I know. It's like, it's like, man, this is definitely not fast like it's supposed to be. You want me to get out of line and go order this? It's
You're right. It wasn't fast. It took us way more time to do.
Dude, and we have a McDonald's, or my aunt has a McDonald's by her house, where they have you walk in and it's like an Apple store. Like, there's no menu, no nothing, just kiosk, just like 2 kiosks, and you go to the kiosk and you order, and then you go to the window and you just pick it up. There's one worker, and that's one worker behind the window. I've never seen another one like this, but I'm hoping it's not something that's going to happen, more and more often, because it's like, it was sad. It was kind of like eerie. I was like, there's nobody here. It's and there's no place.
Where does the food come from? Does somebody bring it out?
So they make so you order it, and then when your order is done, like a window opens up and they hand it to you. So you're like, oh, okay. And there's no place to sit to eat inside. You're just like, okay, we'll see you later. It's like, and it's the size of a normal McDonald's.
You order it, and then all of a sudden, like a little door opened, and it just like popped out like a vending machine or something.
I know, dude. I tell you, man, I wouldn't be surprised. But another quick story, another Jack in the Box story. So Jack in the Box is 24 hours here. I go this is like maybe 10 o'clock at night. I'm in the drive-through. I know that they're open because the light's still on. And I'm sitting there waiting for, the person in front of me orders, they leave, and I come up to the speaker, and I'm sitting there. It's like 9:55, and I was like, okay, well, even if they do close at 10 for some weird reason, I'm here. So I'm sitting there, and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden, I look up, and the lady comes out and puts a cone in front of my car, and she's like, "Sorry, we're closed." And I was like, "Aren't you guys 24 hours?" They're like, "Yeah, but we don't have anybody to work." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, "Yeah, we'll be open on Wednesday." And I was like, well, it's Sunday. Like, what? You guys are just closing till Wednesday? Like, it made no sense to me. Like, I'm so like, when I worked in like in grocery stores and stuff like that, it's like that never would have happened. Like the GM would have been in there working. They're like, we'll be closed for 3 days. Like, and I'm just like, dude, there were so many. I'm having so many different experiences through these drive-throughs and fast food places where I'm like, I swear I'm on a TV show. Like, I'm just baffled. I'm seriously looking around. Like, what the hell just happened?
It's
like,
tough,
I don't know what's
man,
going on.
You're so right. You're so right. It's the quality of and thoroughness of the employees is changed a lot. But it's one of those things too, where it's kind of sad, because it's like, you know, if you work at a place like that and you're making like no money to even like survive, like who's going to take that job? You know what I mean? Like who's going to want to work there unless they've got like another 2 jobs on top of it, you know? And it's hard. You feel kind of bad because I'm like, I almost wish like, you know, when you were a kid, it was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to work at McDonald's. It was like a big thing.
Yeah,
like, you know, and you look at it and you're like, I kind of wish like that people that worked at places like that made enough money to at least live. So then therefore the quality of people that you would get would be a lot better because people would be like, okay, this is my career or this is my, so then we're going to take it a lot more serious. But you're right. It's just, it's very different because even when we were kids, it almost made it seem like all the people working there were like, they all were having like a ball, like, counter. You know, so jealous. Everybody's like having like a grand old time, you know?
I was like, oh man, they get McDonald's all the time. And dude, another time, dude, so me and my buddies went to a Burger King once and they're like, as soon as we pull up, they're like, well, you know, welcome to Burger King. You can order anything as long as it's not fried. And so we had to sit there and be like, well, what are we ordering? Like that just threw us off. And we're like, okay, we'll just go somewhere else. Because we're like, you know, we don't want the chicken sandwich because it's, you know, it was just random things. So I was like, all right. So it's just been wild last couple of years with these fast food places for sure.
Jush asks, what's your order? Now, do you do the taco? I'm going to tell you. You do. My mother, dude, right? So listen to this. And I'm sure she'll probably watch this at some point, so she'll probably laugh. They used to have Jack in the Box around here when she was younger. Like it was gone by the time I was born. But she was obsessed with the tacos. From Jack in the Box, it was like her favorite thing ever. And then they disappeared. Jack in the Box is only like out west now. Like we don't have it here anymore. And so what she does is anytime she knows somebody that's like in California or something like that, she has them like get the tacos, like a ton of them, and like bring them back, like
drive them back,
or fly them back.
Oh wow!
so growing up, it was always like a treasure because all of a sudden, like my uncle from California would come and he would like have like 20 tacos like in his suitcase.
Yeah.
Well, and then like she'd take it out and we'd have them, and and that was the only time I'd ever eaten them, and they were so good, dude.
Yeah,
it was so good. And it's like not any kind of taco I've ever had before.
And they're so cheap too. There were 2 for 99 cents. A couple years back, they changed it to 2 for like $1.50 or something, and people were livid. Like it was a big like boycott and everything, just because we've had those $2 or the 2 tacos for 99 cents for like 30 years. Well, at least as long as I've been alive or been going myself and whatnot. So it was a big thing when they changed the price of it. But yeah, man, they're very simple, and like even if you open it up and look at it, you're like, I have no idea what I'm eating, but it tastes good. But man, I can't imagine how it tastes a couple days later after being on a plane or in a car. I feel like it wouldn't taste that good. So man, you've never had like a fresh one. A fresh one's pretty good.
I've never had a fresh one before. No, I've had one that's like what is in my fridge and then into the microwave, and then like I've had some of those. But like even trying to compare it to like say a Taco Bell, it was like it was very greasy at the bottom, and then like it would have lettuce and cheese, but then it almost had a little bit of a crisp to the taco, right? Like, well, no, because it was a crispy taco, right? It was.
So it's like a crispy taco, but it is very soft, like down in the middle where all the
it's like almost like a little soggy, but it works.
It's soggy,
got a little bit of like a kind of like a spiciness to it as well. Like
and without sounding gross, it looks like dog food. Like when you open it up, it looks like you're eating dog food, but it's good.
So is that still kind of a thing that if you would go there, you would get a couple of those?
Yeah, I'd get 2 orders of the 2 tacos and French fries.
Yeah, so dude, so you gotta ship me some.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
Well, what's that app now? Like my brother and I, like when we do those food stuff, like eating things, he was saying something like, "Oh, we should use this app and order like food from like other places like around the country." Like, what is that? Where like you can order? There's an app where you can order from like anywhere, and then they'll like pack it up and like ship it over and like with like dry ice and all this other shit. And then when you get it, you just like heat it up. Like I've never heard of that,
but that's not
wild,
dude.
Right?
I think that would be a hit if you did that. That would be pretty cool.
We got to get those tacos, man. Son.
Dude, that'd be really cool because I haven't had my favorite restaurant growing up was Bob's Big Boys, and they don't have them out here. So I haven't had Bob's Big Boys since I was in Michigan, and that was like 20 something years ago. So I would love to have some Bob's Big Boys.
Bob's Big Boys. I've never heard of this in my life.
You never heard of Bob's Big Boy?
No. What is it?
Wow. Have you seen Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Do you remember when his like Dr. Evil, his like spaceship was in like that? It's like the guy holding the burger.
Oh yeah, I know that thing. That was in like Simpsons and shit too, right?
Yeah. That's Bob's Burger.
Oh, that's
it's a restaurant. Yeah, it was a restaurant called Bob.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob's Big Boys. Did I say Bob's Big Boys?
No.
Am I saying Bob's Burgers or Bob's Big Boys?
No, you're saying Bob's Big Boys.
Okay, Bob's Big Boys. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
What is it? Burgers?
It's just like a burger place. Yeah, from when I remember, it's just I want to say it's kind of like it's like an upscale fast food place, but kind of Denny's.
Interesting.
But again, I was a little kid when I ate it, but I used to love it.
Well, here's that app. Chad said the app is called Gold Belly.
Gold? Is it super expensive to order something?
That's going to be a whole new series on your freaking. Today we're gonna eat Bob's Big Boys.
Bob's Big Boys only cost me $300.
Yeah. Gonna be a good burger here, but yeah, man, it's going crazy going back in time and talking about this stuff. But we're here to talk about the damn McDonald's, and again, the food when we were kids, the experience when we were kids, and I'm sure you guys can relate to a lot of it. There was birthday parties there all the time. Like I remember going to like friends' birthday parties in like elementary school. But the big thing was always the Happy Meals growing up. And they knew what they were doing, man. They had us hook, line, and sinker with these toys. I mean, toys when we were kids are not like toys now. Like kids, you walk down the aisle at the stores, those toys aren't for kids, dude. Those toys are for adults because it literally looks like the toy aisle when I was a kid, except it's just all modernized stuff. And I'm like, Turtles, Wrestling, G.I. Joe,
Street Sharks.
Yeah, like what kid knows any of this stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, dude. I saw Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, I saw Biker Mice from Mars. I was like, that's not for anybody but me. There's no kid being like, especially if there's not like a show going for it.
Right.
These kids aren't for it.
Right. And then that is the same deal with the McDonald's stuff. Like they cashed in on anything that was hot around that time. And what was cool about the McDonald's toys though was they were sometimes giving you figures of franchises or that never had real action figures before. So like it could be a show I watched all the time, but they never really had toys. But all of a sudden McDonald's a commercial comes up and it's like, now get this. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can go there and get figures of this cartoon that I love that don't have figures. And that was always something that really intrigued me because I was such a big action figure kid. My brother and I both. And I was a collector. I mean, you can say I bought action figures, but I was always the kid that when I had one, I needed to try to get them all. Always. It wasn't just like one wasn't enough. You know, it was all of them. And the same thing with these damn McDonald's toys. It was like I couldn't just have one. I had to get that whole set somehow.
Yeah.
And luckily I had my brother. So if they were doing 2 toys a week, we always ended up getting like the different ones. So we could kind of create the collections a lot easier because it was 2 of us every single time getting them. So that was the big thing on there. But look at, I don't know if you check this out. Look at this.
Yeah, I just happened to see that you have a McDonald's shirt. That's awesome. What's on the front of it?
It's Mac and me.
That's funny. That's awesome, man. And I'll tell you this, man. Coke tastes the best from McDonald's. It's so
everybody always says it has a different taste.
Yeah, it's good.
I was always a strawberry shake guy as a kid. As a kid, it was always like a strawberry shake. But then as I got older, I was all about Surge when we used to go. That was like the big thing when we used to go. And it's funny because when I first started working out, my friend Alan and I would work out. And then right after we were done, we'd head up to McDonald's, which is like right down the street. And we just get like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cheeseburgers. Because at the time, I think they were like 89 cents or, or 99 cents or something. And we used to house those all the time. And I can remember one day going in, there was like some kind of survey. If you took the survey, you got like a free burger or something. So we're like, oh, let's do it. And like, he was asking you a bunch of questions, and then it was like, how many times a week do you come here? And you fill out. Then at the end, it like you tally up everything, and it was like, holy shit, this month we were here like 27 days. Like, it was insane. We were like, oh no, like this isn't good. We literally were here this month like 27 days.
That's funny. So when I was
that was our protein right there.
When I was a kid, my uncle used to work at, or my uncle used to have season tickets for like the Arizona Diamondbacks, which is like the baseball team here, and they would give away like free soft drinks from like the Circle K, so it'd be a free big gulp, and then like for Taco Bell, like they had like a strikeout or something, you would get like a free chalupa. So anyways, the ladies knew him there, so they would give him a stack all the time. So he would give me those stacks. So me and my friends would go every day to Taco Bell. We'd go to Circle K, grab a drink, go over to Taco Bell, and we'd each get 3 chalupas. And for a while they were letting us do it. Then after that, they're like, "Where are you guys getting these?" And I was like, "Oh, well, my uncle works for the Diamondbacks, blah blah blah." But they try to put a stop to it, and they wouldn't only let us do one.
Was Rocco Baldelli on the Diamondbacks?
I don't remember. I don't remember
what team he was on. It's funny because that's a kid I grew up with. He ended up playing Major League Baseball. I'm pretty sure he was drafted to the Diamondbacks and got Rookie of the Year. I think.
Wow, okay.
But he kind of had to retire early due to injuries. But I don't know. I just didn't know if maybe you were like, oh, yeah, I remember. I know.
Yeah, I don't. So it was weird, like because they started off in like '98. So I was a huge fan of them for like 5 years, and then I stopped watching them. Then now I kind of know them. So there's a good chunk of the Diamondbacks that I'm missing out. But my grandma watches every game, so I'm sure my grandma would know.
He probably debuted, I bet, if I had to guess, 2000, 2001. He probably was a rookie.
So that's like right after they won the World Series.
Must have been, probably. But I'm pretty sure it was the Diamondbacks, but I could be wrong. A-Dub says here, no joke, his high school had McDonald's.
Dang. At lunchtime?
He said they weren't sure if it was really McDonald's, but it had to be. It's funny because my middle school had Taco Bell.
We had Taco Bell burritos.
Oh, you did? We just had like you could get a hard or soft taco. And like, I remember a lot of times people always question it, but they're like, wait, is this really it? Or they just like put these in the wrappers, like, and we weren't sure because it tasted the same, but it kind of didn't. So you weren't really sure why. I think it was just because they were under those heat lamps or whatever for so long. So the cheese was like really melted by the time you got it and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had Pizza Hut too. That was the other big one.
We had like I think it was Papa John's or something like that.
Here's a good question. I'm curious what you say about this. Filet of fish or Big Mac?
I've actually only had a Big Mac twice in my life, and I liked it.
Really?
Yeah. I was always like the two cheeseburger guy.
I love that. I've never had the filet of fish ever.
And I haven't had the filet of fish ever.
Oh, you never did either? I know what else I haven't had. I haven't had the filet of fish, and I never had the McRib. I've never had it.
Oh, so the McRib, I get that every year when it comes out. It's weird because I like it, but it's so you might not want to have to explain it. So like the sauce kind of tastes like rubber. Like it kind of tastes like you're like a shoe or something, but I still like it.
A shoe.
It's like a shoe. Yeah. It kind of tastes like a shoe, like the sauce.
What the hell? So when you last time you ate a shoe, you said, all right, this is definitely what it tastes like.
I was like, man, this tastes like a McRib.
And I've never had the lobster roll either. I always wanted it because I love lobsters and I love lobster rolls. So as a kid, I was always like, I've got to try this. My mom's like, we're not getting lobster from McDonald's. So
I didn't even know they had lobster rolls. No.
Oh, they do here every summer, or they used to. I don't know if they still do. But,
yeah, they don't here.
They don't. Look at this. Nobody's liking the McRib, but Gus likes the filet of fish.
Yeah. My mom and my grandma love the filet fish.
Really? I can't believe I've never had that before.
They have a hot and spicy that's really good too.
Huh.
It's like
filet
a chicken
fish
sandwich.
Like a year-round thing?
I think so, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a buddy of mine, Jeff, did a video where, like sometimes, I don't know if it's like a secret menu or you like order certain things and then have to put it together yourself. It was called like I don't remember. It could have been like the Sailor's Special or something. It was like the fillet of fish, but then like a Whopper in it. And like,
Really?
yeah, like it was like the fish and the burger kind of mixed together. And then he did a whole video like eating it and stuff and ranking it and all that stuff. But it's like, it's like got a weird name. There's like a certain name for it that you have to either order and they give it to you in like different pieces and you have to kind of put it all together.
That's weird.
Super weird. Oh, there it is. Land, Air, and Sea. That's what it was called. That's what it was called. Oh,
Land, Air, and Sea.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I don't know if you order that or you.
I've
like,
never heard of that.
And then it tells you to like what to order to do that.
Wow, that's crazy. I feel like I'd do that now, and they'd be like, "Do it on the app."
Yeah, so you can only do it on the app. The app has the Land, Air, and Sea on there. Remember Big and Tasty? Like I do remember Big and Tasty. Now I don't remember exactly what it was. Was it just a huge patty, like a big square patty or something?
It was my nickname in college.
They called you Big and Tasty?
No, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I think it was just like I think the Big and Tasty was just like a hamburger, and then the hot and spicy, or maybe it was the hot and tasty. Maybe the hot and tasty was like a chicken version of it.
Oh, do you remember? The one I remember was the Arch Deluxe. Do you remember that? It was like from the 90s. It was like one of their big flagship burgers, but it didn't last. And I don't even remember what it is or what it was, but I don't think it's ever came back. But it was a huge marketing thing for that Arch Deluxe.
So in Florida, they have like the huge McDonald's, and they have some of those old menus. Like you can get like, you can get like the pizza, because I've never tried the pizza from McDonald's. Have you? Did you ever try it
or something?
No, yeah, they have pasta. So. Yeah, I would like to try it sometime. I'm sure it's not good, but
some of those old, I sometimes will go back and watch like some of the old commercials for some
commercials. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That they had back then, and then the one that I always say to myself, like, man, I would love to try this was. Do you remember that one that like on the commercial was like George Costanza from like Seinfeld?
Yeah.
And like it was the hot and cold thing where it was like, what the hell was it called? But it was like you get a box and like on one side it's like the patty and the burnt bun, and then it's all like it's like the lettuce and tomato, and then you put it together.
Yeah.
Do you know what that was called?
I don't remember, but Justin actually sent me that commercial recently, like maybe like within the last 5 months or so.
Oh, that's a McDLT, dude. That's what it was.
Oh, McDLT. So it was like their version of the BLT.
Yeah, that looks so bomb. And like just must be the way in the commercial where because like the lettuce and stuff looks super crispy and like it looks really good.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
dude,
funny.
This was insane when I was
Monopoly. Dude, there's a documentary called McMillions. It is about that, dude. That's crazy, man. Like it was all like this whole scam thing, and the mob was running it. It's a good documentary. If you guys, I think it's on Max on HBO. But check it out.
What up, Melski? Melski in the house. What's up, kid?
I also saw someone mention Richie Rich. That was like when I was a kid. I was like, I want one of those in my house in McDonald's.
That'd be so killer if you did, and it's like still there, but it's like kind of abandoned now.
Yeah.
You're like, I haven't used this McDonald's in a while.
Someone's like, you have to use the app. I'm sorry, but what? You in my own McDonald's?
I was hoping that if you did have a McDonald's in your house, you would have cleaned it up and turned the lights on for this show, and you would have had it as like you would have been sitting in it.
Oh, dude, that would have been awesome.
But all right, we are 40 minutes in. Thank you for everybody being here. We've done 0 picks yet, so let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So again, we're going to talk about different McDonald's toys. I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about each one. I ranked mine, so me and him can maybe go back and forth. Top 10, and I'll go from not least to best, but favorites just due to specific memories. And the first one I'm going to talk about, people are going to be like, what? Like, I can't believe this was one that would have been one of your least out of my 10. And I'll try to pull up some pictures here for everybody too. Like, let me see if we can do that. So at least people will see what we're talking about. Let me see. I'll get mine ready and then I'll get to yours. Okay, so I'll get this all raring to go. All right, my number 10. I can't even believe I'm going to say this is number 10. All right, my number 10 is going to be the Back to the Future toys from McDonald's. And I'm going to share this screen here.
That is actually my number 10 as well.
Cody?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It'll be my number 10. Yes, I have it on my list.
Wow. All right. So can you see this? Because I can't see it from where. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Back to the Future toys is going to be my number 10. Now, Back to the Future is one of my all-time favorite movies. So the idea that it would be at number 10 is only because this came out in 92.
This is
So
for
at that
the
point,
cartoon. Yeah.
yeah, so it was for the cartoon, which is awesome. And I can remember I had Marty, and I ended up only getting, I don't know if I had Doc, but I had that dog in the train.
I had the train. That's what I had, was the train. I had the train
Einstein,
and the dog.
yeah. I never had, is that Biff? I never had whoever that fourth guy was. But these are super cool. But if these would have came out in like the mid 80s or the late 80s, I would have this would have been higher on my list. But in 92, I was already starting to kind of get older. So like they weren't as big of a deal to me back then, like at that point in time, like the McDonald's toys. I was getting them, but it wasn't like when I was a lot younger going completely bananas for these things. But I would love to snag this Marty now because it's such a cool just concept and idea. What the heck is going on? For
He's wearing
these
a Teen Wolf jacket.
Yeah, look at that, right? Wow.
Yeah.
But how about you, Danny? Any memories of these?
So I was really young when these ones came out, but the only one that I had was the dog. I feel like I may have had Marty, but I'm not 100% sure. But I remember having that dog, and I remember playing with it a lot. Like it was one of those things where like you'd like put it on the ground and then put it backwards, and it would sort of fly, going forward.
Yeah. Like one of those old, like kind of not was it wind up or you the pull back thing?
Yeah, like
right?
the pullback things to get them going. But yeah, because I used to watch the cartoon. I used to like the cartoon a lot.
Same.
I was a sucker for those cartoons that had movies, or how those movies that end up having cartoons,
of course,
like
Teen Wolf and Addams Family and Beetlejuice and all those other ones. I totally agree.
Problem
Midnight
Child,
in Space,
Beethoven, yeah.
What's up? Oh, dude, Problem. I don't remember either of them having cartoons.
Yeah, they were on USA.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Did Home Alone have one too, or no?
No, but that would have killed. I'm surprised they didn't. And Fox did a lot of those. I'm surprised they didn't have a cartoon.
Problem Child cartoon. I gotta look for that.
Yeah, it was like one season.
That's Problem Child.
Yeah, and Gilbert Godfrey was in it. He played the voice of the principal still.
That is so funny. Fight the Good Fight asks if we remember the ashtrays. I do. I
don't.
I would love to get my hands on a McDonald's ashtray because it was, well, they had a couple. I think they had like those, like they were like metal ones that like you could crunch in your hand if you wanted. They were like very flimsy, like, I don't know, aluminum or something. But they used to have glass ones at the table. And the reason I know this is because my father is a smoker. So when, as a kid, it was always like smoking section. And then I was buried in smoking section for the first like 6 years of my life. So I remember that there was these glass ones that were almost like a yellowish glass, and it had the McDonald's logo on it. I bet you could probably find those on eBay right now. It's pretty insane to think about. Oh no, Tiana with a super chat. She says this stream is going to make her want McDonald's. Wow.
I know.
I'm going to see how many other people it's going to message us and be like, I went and got McDonald's after your stream.
Oh, I guarantee you that's what I'm getting. I'm getting McDonald's after this stream.
You're going to text me tomorrow and be like, you're right, dude. I feel like ass.
I know, dude.
Good show, though.
I spent $50.
And got a Happy Meal. In a bag. Didn't even get the box.
Yeah, in a bag. I know the bags, man. That broke my heart. Yeah.
Oh, Coco's in the chat. What's up, kid? She said, what's up? This is one of me and Brian's favorite topics. We are trying to slowly buy back our collections. That is sick. And that's another thing that I fear when we do shows like this, because I literally have none of these left. And as we start talking about them, I'm going to probably think to myself, maybe I can get some of these.
So, man, I was looking up some of these, and they're very cheap, some of them. So you can get the whole collection of like, there's a certain one on my list that I was looking, you could buy the display and all the toys for like under $40. And I was like,
what?
I might do that. Yeah. I saw it on eBay last night. But I was like, man, I don't have room for that stuff, but I'm gonna get it probably.
That is sick, dude. Because again, there's so much nostalgia with these things. You show the pictures of these things, and this is unlocking a lot of memories for people for sure. And I'm sure there's going to be other ones that we're going to talk about that's going to do the same thing. And I was such a collector that, like, let's say I didn't go to McDonald's for a little while, and all of a sudden they came out with a new line of toys, and I'm like, oh my god, I need those. We'll go to McDonald's. We'll get the Happy Meal. We'll get the toy. I literally then had to go home. I emptied my whole toy box out and like had to get every single McDonald's toy I had and like put them aside and like put them in a different case. Like I was adding to the collection. Like I was just I was so bonkers when it came to that kind of stuff. Like that's why I knew by the time I was older, I knew there was going to be some kind of collector mentality in my future because I was like that from, like 4 years old. But so your number 10 was Back to the Future as well?
Yeah. Yep, it was
all right. Well, why don't you go into your 9 and then I'll do my 9.
All right. So 9, I'm gonna do dinosaurs, and this is where, dinosaurs.
Interesting.
I was a huge fan of the show.
Oh, that show.
That's right, those ones right there.
So is that? Yeah. Oh, that's the display sign.
The display sign. Figures. Yeah, the figures. So I remember having the baby, and the dad. I had the baby in the egg, and I had the dad with his hat, and then I had the son. I can't remember what the son's name was. PJ, I think.
Was it BJ?
I can't remember. BJ, something like that. I can't remember his name. But I had those two. But I remember. There was something cool about watching the TV show and then having the toy of it. It was just there's nothing like it when you were a kid. I was just like, oh wow, playing playing along with it while having it.
That was probably like what we said before of is that like at the time I don't remember like they had the dinosaur like the plushie figure, and I've always wanted that because it was so accurate to the baby. And unfortunately, I never had it. It's still something that's on kind of my list, my want list. But did they ever have toys of that show to go along with the show, or was this like the closest we ever got?
Yes, because I do have an action figure of the dad. Because I remember he came with like a lunch pail
from the early 90s.
From the early 90s, yes, I do have one of him. Yeah, and I remember it was like towards because dude, it was a super popular show, and it was even canceled when it was at the height of its like it had like high ratings. People loved it. It was getting tie-in deals left and right, but it was just so expensive to keep it going. It was like $1 million an episode, and that's a lot for the mid 90s.
Yeah, I mean that show came out really hot. Like there was so much marketing behind that show, and it was on TGIF and all this stuff. And I remember absolutely loving it as well. Unfortunately, I never had any of these, and I don't know if it's because they were 93. So at that point, I was already 93. I was already I was just starting middle school at that point. Okay. So that's probably why I didn't have these, because I was at a point where I was like getting a little bit older, but I was definitely watching the show. No doubt. Yeah.
In 93, I wasn't even in school yet. So this is like I'm starting to get into.
You're really aging me out right now. I feel like I said, a lot closer in age than we are, man.
Okay, I swear, I guarantee you, we're a lot closer in age now than we were back then. If that makes any sense. Like I said, it feels like we're.
What year did dinosaurs come out? Did they come out in 93 or the show, or was it 92?
I think it was 93. Like it only lasted like 4 seasons, I believe.
So they were really on top of it then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably a tie-in for when the show was coming out, so they may have been like, well, we don't know if it's going to be popular, but we're going to make it popular kind of thing,
Now, do you think there was any correlation between this and Jurassic Park or no?
I don't know, because if they're coming out at the same time, you would, if not, it was just a happy accident,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right, because it would have been too hard to kind of try to maneuver that, like, especially with the costuming and stuff like from that show. There would probably be no way that they would be able to, do it that fast to capitalize on Jurassic Park.
So there may have been like they may have known that there was something coming out, and they're like, well, let's kind of like do something like this, things in Hollywood maybe went around. They're like, well, let's try this, see what's gonna happen, and then it came out. But
Also,
definitely Jim Henson stuff, yeah.
Coco said the dinosaur, you could squeeze the little thing in the air would make them jump. Is that what the egg guy did?
Yeah, the egg guy did. Yeah, I remember not liking the egg guy that very much
because it's hard to play with that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I was a guy who I was really into like action figures, so I liked when they can move, punch, and all that stuff. So when I had something that didn't do something like that, I was kind of disappointed, but I still liked to collect those.
That was sometimes the issue, and we could talk about that because I'm going to have that in my kind of on my list when it comes to the ranking. Is that I was such a big action figure guy too that like when sometimes some of the figures were like stuck in like a position or like on something, it always made it kind of awkward. Like like the Back to the Future toys, like Marty was always just stuck in that pose on the board, and you couldn't really do anything else with them. So to me, that was kind of like a little bit of a negative because being an action figure guy, I was like, I want to take him off of this thing and walk him around,
Yeah.
But I'm going to get into my next one at number 9. And I think I'm curious to see if this is on your list too, because I think this had to have been in the early 90s. So let me see. And as I was thinking about it and doing my research on it, once I saw the figures, I was like, oh my God, yes. Now, this is going to be the Hook figures.
Hook is on my list as well.
Is it on your list?
And Hook is the one I was talking about where I was looking it up. You can buy the display and all the toys for under $40.
Oh, dude, this?
Yes.
What? You better buy that right now. Someone's going to buy that.
Dude, I saw it last night. Yeah.
Look at that thing.
My friend Derek from Pure Hangout has that.
That's amazing.
He has that whole setup. Yeah. Yeah. Some of these I was looking up and I was like, dude, that's cheap for all that. And then some of them I was like, wow, that's really expensive for that, But the ones I wanted weren't very pricey at all. But yeah, I had the Rufio and I played with him in the bathtub.
Dude, it's so funny because I remember putting these, I don't know if I was in a bathtub or a pool or something, but I can remember because he would squirt. And then I can remember Captain Hook always falling out of that damn boat. And then obviously I liked Pan. I don't know if I don't think I had the mermaid. I might have, but I definitely had Rufio, Hook, and Pan. Definitely. And Pan was cool because he could come off of that thing. He could take him off of there. And move him around, which was like I said, which was huge.
Yeah, and I think I had I know I had Rufio for sure, but I may have had Hook and Pan, but I remember playing with Rufio the most.
Well, Rufio's like $3 on eBay right now.
It's not bad at all.
No. So yeah, these were awesome. When I saw the picture of them, I was like, oh my God, I played with these a lot.
Yep.
And there were Hook figures because I did use those as well.
Yeah, I have a Captain Hook, yeah. So do I. Or so did I. But yeah, man,
there was a couple too. Did you have the Hook? There was two. I had two Captain Hooks. One with like, it was almost like his hook could change, and he was wearing like a purple. And then there was one with a big coat on. Yeah,
so I had the one he was purple, and he had his hook could turn into a sword, right?
Yes. There was I had that one. There was another one that he was in like a big robe, which was cool, but it was like you couldn't move him around good because the robe was so huge, and it was like a hard plastic robe. It wasn't like a cloth.
Okay, yeah, I had the purple one.
Now, what do you have as number 9?
So, did you want me to take, because I had Hook on my list, so I can put that as my number 9, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, or tell me your number 9, and when we get to where Hook was, we'll just kind of just say it really quick. Because I'm just curious where you rank that.
Yeah, Hook would be probably further down, just because I played with it a lot. So I'm going to go with my number 9 will be Bobby's World.
Dude, I didn't even know they had that. What? Oh my God.
Bobby's World. And I remember, right? Yes, and I remember that's the one I wanted, and I kept getting him on the damn rollerblades.
Oh my God, I don't remember these at all.
And I wanted him on his bike, but I just kept getting him on his rollerblades.
Dude, the bike one's sick.
Yeah, so yeah, it was cool because it would come with like him on his normal thing, and then his imagination you'd put on like the like the car or the spaceship or whatnot. So
Oh
it was pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like it went over him no matter which
Yeah,
one
it
you
went
bought,
over.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, those were
Wow, I
cool.
didn't
But
even
yeah,
realize that there was a Bobby's World figure. What year would this have been?
this was
94. That's probably why.
994. Yeah. So it was a little, yeah, so
Now,
you were,
does this make you mad when you see this?
yeah, kind of.
Maybe
It's
you
just,
can get maybe you can get Bobby in the you gotta get
I
Bobby
know.
in the on the bike, dude.
I know. Well, it's so
That's a hit.
iconic, and I think that's why I wanted, and I kept getting him on his damn rollerblades.
Dude, $50 Bobby's World McDonald's meal display complete. $50 Bobby's World.
Wow. I
Look
might.
at that thing.
Dang, dude.
You know that McDonald's you always wanted in your house? You can buy a couple of these, you can build it.
I know. It's gonna be like it's gonna be Richie Rich or a blank check over here.
Yeah. Dude, that is sick, man. I
dude,
think people are gonna
yeah,
start swiping that.
yeah, and that guy right there has 3 of him on the bike and 2 of the on the rollerblades.
Wild. Look at that.
But yeah, man, I was looking at displays yesterday, and I was like, this is a slippery slope I'm going down.
100%, because when you were a kid and you were looking at those displays, it felt like something you would never ever be able to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of felt that way when I used to watch commercials for action figures, and the kids were always playing in this like insane setup, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I'll never be able to replicate that. Like it was like this perfect setup of like a big rock with like some grass where like they would like have their guys hiding and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I could never replicate that. You know, they were on like a cool bridge or something.
Oh yeah, it was always
like, it was always a good a good scene. They always had like the most key spot to play with their figures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but these things the same thing because they were always buried behind glass.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but yeah, you'd go in and you would go and you'd be like, oh, I want that one. You know, you'd be so excited, and half the time you never got the one you wanted, but you were still like, oh, next time I'll get the one I want. But I don't
about
think
how smart they were though when they used to do it by weeks.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, because you go in there, you'd see all 4 of them, and you're like, "Oh my god, I want this," and the guy would be like, "Oh no, he's not till next week," and you're like, "Shit, I can come back." You know,
and this is a question I have too, because remember they had boy toys and girl toys. Was that only for like when they had because when they had Bobby's World, they didn't have 2 different toys; they would have just the Bobby's World. So when it came to when they had like the Barbies, and then they had like Hot Wheels, that would be the boy and girls toys. For some reason, I was thinking there was always boy and girl toys.
Ones. Okay, no, I don't think it was always, but I do think that it was specific things. Like I think if they did like a sports one, maybe they did like a football, baseball, and then on the other end you'd have like a girls thing of like they'd have like hairbrushes and all this other shit, you know. But I do remember they had like a Barbie one, and I think that probably was with the Hot Wheels one.
Yeah, Barbies and Hot Wheels were always together because I remember I'd always get a Hot Wheel and my sister would get the Barbie. And then I remember they had like they had a couple different ones where it would be like because I remember my sister would get like some cool, but they would be like Christmas Barbies or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd use them as like Christmas on the Christmas display. What?
Did they ever do like My Little Ponies or anything? Oh no, because that would have been my era. Your sister probably would have been later than that.
My sister was born in 84.
Okay, so she's just a couple years younger than me.
Yeah. So she would do so she would be like around that era, and then like I was 4 years after her.
So I guess in reality we are kind of aged a little bit between each other.
Yeah.
And that was your number 9, right?
Yes, that was my number 9, Bobby's.
All right, I'm going to pull up one for me that like to me this feels like this might have been one of the first figures from here I remember getting. And I don't even know what year it would be. It has to be early to mid 80s. But they weren't the coolest figures, but because it was almost like my introduction. 87. So that was okay. These just felt like a set of figures that I played with a lot, but like these felt so early on into like me collecting these things. And what was interesting about them was they were like their heads and stuff were like
were soft. They were soft. They were like velvet kind of like.
Yes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because I had these. They were my sister's, but I remember playing with them.
Oh yeah, they were super cool because again, it was like I had the books and they never had figures for these guys that I knew about.
No.
So to get these, it almost felt like this was your action figure collection. So I definitely had all of these, but I remember bringing them in the sandbox, and because of the velvet and stuff like that, they got ruined big time.
Yeah. See, and I remember mine smelled like potpourri, I feel like. The ones that I played with. Like
I mean, maybe mine did, and they were in the sandbox for so long, and they didn't.
Either that, or my sister was like spraying it with spray or something.
Making the moms like perfume for the moms.
Yeah. You're like cleaning them after I touch them. She's like, a dirty boy was touching these.
So yeah, these are classic ones. I mean, I'm sure these probably, like you said, I don't think these would be expensive, but they were just iconic for me.
Dude, I feel like Berenstain Bears, they need to make a comeback. Like those are so iconic, but yet forgotten. I feel like nobody talked about Berenstain Bears.
Books, yeah, the books were really good too. Like some of the different concepts and stuff that they did was really, really cool. And this was another one of those. What the hell? How could there be a treehouse playset for McDonald's toys? What is this?
That's wild.
Is that weird?
It's games. Is it
those
for
are
McDonald's?
the toys right there.
It is. That's weird.
So like, did McDonald's do the figures and then somebody else like did a set to like, because everybody got them?
That's not a bad idea though.
Right? Like a play set for your McDonald's toys, like another company like cashed in on McDonald's. That is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, Berenstain Bears is one of those things. What do they call it? Mandela effect?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because I swear to God, I swear to God, I remember that being an E.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any?
Yeah.
Do you ever?
Yeah, I remember it being that too. And then you see all these things like it was never that. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because here's one of the books, Berenstain. But for some reason, I always felt like it was an E. Berenstain.
Oh, and it was McDonald's. It was a McDonald's book.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So they must have came with books too.
They were really getting all Berenstain Beard out.
I know. Sure. I'm kind of surprised they haven't made, like, you know how like they made like the people who did the Minions and whatnot, like Illuminati or whatever not Illuminati, but Illuminati. I forgot what that company's called, but I'm surprised they haven't done like a Berenstain Bears kind of like movie.
Oh yeah, what is that called? I'm surprised too. They could do something really cool with that animation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they did with the Grinch a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually a really good version of the Grinch, I thought.
I wanted to see it. I have not seen it yet.
Oh, I think it's really, really cool. Really fun.
I'll check it out.
All right, so that was my number. Smelt, yes. That was my number 8 on my list.
No, right?
All right, Cody.
Well, I'm gonna go Hook now.
Okay, so we already talked about Hook, so we're not gonna do that. So
yeah,
why don't you tell me your number 7?
Number 7 is going to be, so I thought this was a cool concept when they came out. This was later on. I don't remember getting many of these, but 101 Dalmatians came out with a set, and it was like they had 101 different toys. So yes, they had 101 different toys that you could get. Yeah, do you see that poster right on one of those? Yeah, one of those posters.
Oh, dude,
that's
you know
every
what?
single
hold
one
on
of
a second.
them.
I definitely, now that I'm looking at it, I definitely had this guy, the main one.
Yeah,
I can remember having him.
Yeah,
but I didn't realize there was 101. Where's that thing? Holy mackerel!
Yeah, those are all the different toys that they had.
What year?
So I don't know how they distributed. Does it say on it? Maybe because, dude, I was actually looking at that poster. I was like, man, I want to buy that poster, but I was like, why? Why would I buy that poster? But yeah,
I definitely remember having this guy.
And they also had because I put this together. The 101 Dalmatians also came with snow globes. Like it was one where like you could, yeah, you see that like when they're in the sled right there, that's a snow globe. Yeah.
Huh. Look at there, you go right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Carrying case for like your Happy Meals and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah,
it actually has the McDonald's logo, dude. Look.
Oh, that is wild. Dang.
96
yeah.
Those came out.
96, yeah. Yeah, so it must have been like an anniversary or something, but I remember those coming out and seeing the poster, like, that'd be so cool. And in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna get those all. I got like 3 of them.
Well, I mean, imagine how many times would you have to
Oh,
go
I
and get?
know. Yeah, I don't even know how they distributed it. Like, did they have like 5 a week or what? Because it's not like they
I don't
did
know,
it
but check this
for that
out though.
long. Damn, that's wild, man.
What the heck am I doing here? My thing's stop. Carrying case, collect COA, $115 complete.
Wow.
Wow,
Huh.
that's wild.
That's pretty crazy. But yeah, and I remember the snow globes, they like didn't last long. Like the water evaporated. Like there are some really cool snow globes out there, but I never get snow globes anymore because the water evaporates. And I remember those were like plastic, so the water didn't last long at all. But they're pretty cool when they came out. So yeah, that's my
Good
numbers.
call on that one. That unlocked a little memory for me because I totally forgot about those things until now.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought that was just a really cool concept.
Oh, 100%. 101%, dude.
101%.
Well, I'm gonna bring an oldie but a goodie to the table. I loved these things, and this was the Bambi set. There was 4 of them. Oh, what is going on here? So I was really young when this came. Let me see what the date on these guys were. Look at that picture, dude, huh? 88. So I remember having all of these. You could get the skunk. He came with like a little flower. You get, was that his name? Flower? No, what was his name?
Yeah, Flower. There's Flower and
name,
Thumper.
right?
Yeah, Flower, Thumper,
yeah.
and Owl. I feel like the owl's name was Owl, but I could be wrong.
Yes. I used to love these things. Thumper was my favorite one. You could like move his foot.
But
I always loved this Bambi because I used to make it do like splits and stuff because it's like, its legs would be like in one piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this and I'm like, come on, they reused Rudolph. That's got to be.
Oh, it does look like Rudolph, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like reused him. Wait, that can't be him, is it? That doesn't look anything. This is the one I had. That doesn't look like him. That doesn't look like this.
Unless they redid him because this is 88. So I don't know. They're both 88.
Yeah,
that's weird.
The one I had was definitely this guy.
So this is actually on my list. That one that you just showed.
Oh, they came with the tape?
Yes, that's actually on my list. Yeah, so I can do that next if you want.
Okay, talk to me about it. What is this?
Okay, so these were really cool. These were called the Walt Disney Home Video Masterpiece Collections, and they came in a VHS box. So that's probably one from the VHS box. That
so
one.
That's
so, and then
the
figure. That's a figure that came in a VHS box. Yeah. So they had all kinds of different ones. They had like Aladdin. They did it like 2 separate times, and it was really cool. Because of course I was very into VHSs, so that was really awesome to get. Was like the VHS in a VHS. Yeah.
How big were they? Small?
Yeah, they're probably, I don't know, like maybe this big or so.
Huh.
Probably as big as a normal toy, and then the box would just be. Yeah, I remember having the Pete's Dragon one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah, like on the left hand side they have. Yeah. I remember those were pretty cool.
Oh, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. 96.
Yeah, I had a lot of those. The Lion King, the Oliver and Company, Pete's Dragon. Yeah, those are really cool.
Ooh, I might have missed a good pick now that you just said that. I'll have to think about it when we're done. So you said so you did the Masterpiece Collection as your number 7, right?
As my number 7, yeah.
All right. So just so you know, guys, we're not going to talk about the Halloween buckets because those were kind of given. Like that was more of like not a toy, but like that was like what your Happy Meal came in. But those obviously are classics. We still get them now. So we didn't want to add those to our list and kind of talk more about like just the figures and stuff like that. So bringing it down to number 6, this one could have been higher on my list. I played with these a lot as a kid, and that was the Fraggle Rock stuff.
Oh, Fraggle Rock.
And this was one of those figure sets that like they never had real figures. So these were like the best thing that you could get because if you liked the show, you would just get these things and you actually had some Fraggle figures, and they came in like these little like vegetables basically. See, she was like in like some kind of radish or something, and the other dude was in a carrot. I can remember that. They were like little racers, dude. I played with these things all the damn time. I had all of them. Eggplant.
My sister was dude, and the wheels look like they're pies. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we had these because my sister's a huge Fraggle Rock fan, and she got me into it. But yeah, I was trying to get Christian into getting into Fraggle Rock because he's like, "What's Fraggle Rock?" I think he saw it at like Walmart or something.
Oh, really? Fraggle Rock is a great show, man.
Yeah, man. I saw they have a cartoon again. It's back, but it's nothing like, it's on like, I don't know, Apple TV or something, but it's a cartoon. But yeah, I was like, yeah, man, they used to live underneath that old man's house.
Yes.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock was awesome.
Do you
I just watched it
remember?
before school.
Remember the Christmas Muppet Christmas where like Sesame Street was there, and then the Muppets were there, and then all of a sudden Fraggle showed up.
Fraggle Rock showed, yeah.
I like wicked marked out when they found the Fraggle hole or whatever. I was like, what?
Yeah, Fraggle Rock was it? Yeah, yeah, it was so cool. Because when you're a kid, you don't realize it's all like the same company or whatnot, but you're like, what? That's all, like the biggest crossover.
It was huge. Like, what was it? Like the little Kermit guy, a little frog, found like a Fraggle hole like in the basement or something like that. When he went through it, I was like, oh my god. Like, it was so cool at the time.
And this was like before like like we didn't have crossovers very much back in the day, where when like when you watch that, you're like, oh my god, there's a crossover. Or like like when Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out and there was like Disney and Warner Brothers on the same screen. That was such a huge deal. Now that might not be a big deal, but back then it was such a big thing and a big treat for like people like us.
Yeah, because I always used to think too, because it had those crossovers, I wasn't sure where Roger Rabbit stood. Like, like you had Mickey and Bugs in the same movie talking to each other. You had Daffy and Donald. And then I'm like, well, what is Roger Rabbit? Is he Disney or is he? I
assumed he was Disney because they talked a lot about Toontown and that was in Disney. And then like, I think they had a ride. Roger Rabbit had a ride, and Roger Rabbit used to walk around Disney. So I assume it was Disney.
I have a picture of Roger Rabbit and us at Disney when I was a kid.
Dude, that's so sick.
It's pretty cool. Like it was cool. But I remember my brother and I were pissed because we took a picture with him, and whoever was in that suit, like, put his hands on our head and pressed down so hard. So if you look at my picture, I'm like, because like it's like my neck. Whoever was playing Roger Rabbit.
It's probably Chuck Norris.
So he is Disney, but at the time I remember not sure what category he was. Like, I'm like, was he on this? Is he going to be on Looney Tunes? Like, where's he going to be? But that's what's so cool about that, and like what they must have had to go through to get everybody to be on the same page with that movie.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of hoops they had to roll through. Like Bugs and Mickey, they had to be on screen together, and they had to have the same exact amount of screen time. They talked, then they had to have the same amount of lines, kind of thing. So everything was treated equally. But I'm sure it was a pain in the ass.
What I always found funny too was like they were very like I used to watch a lot of Looney Tunes, but like they were older, so I was watching a lot of reruns, and I feel like they felt very modernized in Roger Rabbit. Like Daffy felt like super modernized, like in that, and it was kind of a cool feel to see those characters kind of like updated and stuff like that. And I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Who do you got on number 6, dude?
All right, so I'm gonna go with Space Jam toys. And I remember my grandma took us to go see this when it came out. It was right around the holidays. So whenever I think of McDonald's, I think of Space Jam whenever I think of Space Jam, I think of McDonald's, because it was just Michael Jordan and Space Jam just went together. Michael Jordan and McDonald's just went together. And it's funny because there's not a Michael Jordan toy.
There wasn't.
There wasn't a Michael Jordan toy, so I don't know if they couldn't get his likeness, but he's all over the packaging and stuff. Like he's on that display. But yeah, it was cool because you get like each one of them would come with like a little section of
court.
of the court, and then you put it together, and they'd be on wheels. And when you rolled it, they'd all be doing something different. So no matter how many you had, you could always hook them together. So if you had all of them, you could hook them all together. And if you didn't have them all, you'd have like 3 of them put together. But yeah, I remember my favorite was the green Monstar villain. I was a huge Monstar fan.
The Monstars, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's wild is we were talking about, McDonald's not doing this kind of stuff anymore. But look at this. They had one for part 2.
I don't even remember that.
Wow. That's
wild.
Cool.
12 toys. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, and they had a LeBron James.
Wow. Interesting. So that must have been a pretty big deal for them to be able to do with that.
That's cool.
I mean, they still kind of do stuff because my son just went not too long ago and they did some Mario stuff. So they do still kind of do the figures, I guess.
I feel like whenever I go there, it's Mario. I don't know why. I feel like it's always
all they do now.
Yeah.
It's been Mario for 6 months, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had Taz because Taz was my favorite, so I really wanted Taz. I think my sister had Sylvester and Tweety, and she also had the Lola bunny. I had a low-key crush on her when I was a kid.
I think you know what the funny part is? I think you said this in another show that we did.
Yeah, dude, Lola Bunny and Jessica Rabbit, man.
They were Jessica Rabbit, of course.
Yeah.
Do you want
yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, patty cake, wow.
Because remember Roger made a huge deal on patty cake. And he had like they show the pictures. He was so upset, and I remember as a kid, like, "What's the big deal?"
I know. That was for our parents, man. Like our parents were probably laughing. They're like, "That's hilarious, man. That's funny."
All right, so I'm gonna go to my number 1, 2, 3, 5, and I'm sure this might be on your list, man. But these are gonna be the McNugget buddies.
Oh, they are not on my list, but man, they were the best.
Yeah, man. I had. My favorite were obviously the scary ones, like these ones right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if these are modern or not. No, 92. Okay, so this would have been the ones where you could dress them up in like the Halloween costumes. Like those were probably my favorite version of those. Like you could get like the ones where they were in just different suits. But what's this one? But yeah, I was watching Nugget Buddies. I
was watching the cartoon last night. Not the cartoon, the commercial last night for the McNugget buddies. And it was like them like switching out costumes and stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole last night watching commercials. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, they recently had some come out like last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got one, but I think it was like these ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got. Who did I get? I think I might have got that ice guy, maybe.
Yeah. Which was the coolest one.
But it was one of those things where like these were expensive. Look at this, $3. I swear to God, these things were like $15.
Oh yeah. Those meals were like $20 because I remember being like, man, there's no way I'm collecting all these. So I went twice maybe, and both times I got the one with the like the middle Darla. I was like, I don't want Darla anymore. I want the. I want Burrick, the cool one.
But like, look at this on eBay right now. It's $3 for like the set.
That's so crazy. Here we are like spending $20.
Yeah, brutal, dude. Brutal. Wow. But yeah, those are the McNugget buddies. They definitely, again, they had cool commercials. It was cool to have those as figures. You could change the outfits. And obviously when you add kind of like Dracula and Frankenstein, I was all in on these things. So that was my number 5 of my all-time favorite Happy Meal toys. Who do you got, Cody, at number 5?
I'm going to have the Mighty Ducks.
Jeez, man, why are you doing some deep cuts? I didn't even know they had Mighty Ducks.
Dude, these were cool because they were like, it was the cartoon Mighty Ducks. And it's funny because the Mighty Ducks cartoon lasted 4 months. And they had toy tie-ins at McDonald's. They also had a video game, and they also had toys that were on like the shelf at like KB's and Toys R Us. But it was so cool because each of them came on a puck.
Dude, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
I don't even remember a show. Like,
Oh, you don't
this, a
remember the shit?
cartoon.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It was really cool. Obviously it came out after the movie, but yeah, the Mighty Ducks was really cool.
So complete set, $8, $9.
See, it's not bad for these.
No.
It's like, man.
That's interesting, dude, because you know what's so funny about the Mighty Ducks? Obviously, we knew them from the movie. Then they became a real professional team. I had the starter jacket, it was purple. And then they came out with a cartoon and it all had the same logo.
It was all, it's crazy that like a Disney movie created all of this in the 90s.
Right. And it became a real team. Is it still a team?
I think it still is. Yeah, the Anaheim Ducks. I think so, yeah.
I was watching something on, maybe you know, or somebody in the chat would know. I was watching something on the Mighty Ducks recently, and they were talking about, remember when Gordon Bombay was telling you like his story and how he missed the shot?
Yeah.
But they said if you would have taken his stats, like, I think that they must have been talking about it somewhere. It's like, based on like what he said his stats were, he would have scored like 16 goals a game based on the stats he gave or something.
I saw that.
And
I saw
and then he misses a shot, and the coach is like, "We're the worst." They're like, "Dude, 16 goals a game. The guy should have been like in the NHL." Like,
I know. Yeah,
like,
and I think
nobody with a record like that.
I know. I think that the team is still around because I believe there was like maybe the 30th anniversary or the probably the 25th anniversary. I think they wore the jerseys from the movie.
Oh, no way.
The team, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Wow, good call on the Ducks, dude. I totally, I can't believe I don't remember. Like some of these guys look familiar, but I really don't remember there being a cartoon of this. What year would this have been?
And I had the action figures too, probably 96 or so.
96. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I remember having the action figures.
They had real figures like you could buy at the
store? They had real figures you could buy from the store. Yeah.
Wow, good call, man. All right, so we're at number 4, and this was a tough one because I was like, do I do the McNugget buddies? These were similar, but I always found these a little bit cooler because they never got the same amount of love, and that's the Fry Guys. They were very similar to the McNugget buddies because you could interchange their outfits, but like, look at how cool this guy is, dude. Look at that. They don't get enough love, these things.
Did your McDonald's have seats that were shaped as the Fry Guys and you would sit on their heads?
I think there was definitely seats that had shapes, and like I can remember sitting on the burger and all that stuff. So they probably did have Fry Guy in there. But these guys were super cool. I remember having this one with the snake and the clown and all that stuff. I just feel like they don't get enough love as like the McNugget buddies do, and I feel like they're a lot cooler. Little guys.
It's so weird that these things are very nostalgic now and they're doing well. Like, you know, wow. They remind me of those koosh balls. Remember those koosh balls?
Yeah, but they're like with little legs. Like it's funny because I remember them, but now looking at them, I was like, I remember them, but like I don't remember them being so weird. Like, that's like nightmare fuel weird.
Yeah. Like to us, it's really cool, but like we think about it now, you're like, man, that's kind of scary. Like our kids would be so afraid of that stuff now.
Look at those.
Yeah,
they were freaky though. Look at them. It's like pom poms.
But so cool though. Yeah, pom poms. Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, these things are rad as hell.
Dude, they could easily bring this stuff back, and it would be a huge hit.
Oh my god, hell yeah! Look at this thing. These little stilts. I mean, how easy was it to make that? You could any 3D printer could probably make that in like 2 seconds. God, we need love for the Fry Guys.
I know.
McDonald's has buried them. What the hell? I don't even see these guys in the commercial. Look at this guy. You don't want to see these guys in the commercials again?
Even Ronald McDonald is gone. You know, it's like,
is he? He is gone, isn't he? Or did he come back, or is he still gone?
So I was reading last night that they took him, like they kind of phased him out in 2016 because of the clown sightings. So they just kind of buried it, which is a shame.
How weird is that, right?
I feel like there should be, because I want to know what, like, I would love to see what, like, a documentary about like the Ronald McDonald in the 80s and 90s. Like what does that guy do? Like I'm sure he has some random stories. He probably has to go to all these different hospital openings, or not hospital, like ribbon cuttings, and then he has to go to all these show. I'm sure that there's some kind of scandal somewhere that I'm sure it's gonna be the next a new Netflix docu-series. Ronald McDonald,
he was getting like mad laid and shit, like
exactly. It's gonna be a picture of him like in his like Ronald McDonald like headgear, but he's just like sitting there like smoking a cigarette, like
like chicks in like a hotel room or something.
Yeah, in a jacuzzi.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, he was so over though, as like, back then, like we had a McDonald's near me that had two things. It had a phone that you could like call him. Did you ever have one of those?
I don't remember.
Go to McDonald's and there was like a phone and you would pick it up and like you dial a number and it would be him on the other line talking to you. It was like automated, but as a kid you felt like amazing.
You're talking to him.
And there was another thing where there was a Ronald McDonald, like a porcelain statue on a bench, and you would take pictures.
Yeah, on a bench, you take pictures with him. Yeah, he's like sitting there. Yeah,
there's actually a bar here in Providence that has one in the bar, and you can take pictures with it from the 80s. Dude, and I went to that bar and did like a live show like last Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I watched it.
Remember
I
posted a picture? Yeah, I posted a picture. I was sitting next to that Ronald.
Dude, how sweet would that be to get one of those?
Oh, dude, it'd be so fun.
Ronald McDonald for your
that
backyard.
would be such a killer thing to have like in your house.
Mm-hmm. God,
did you ever remember those? Did you ever have one with like the Ronald things at your where you grew up?
Yeah. I don't remember the phone, but I remember him outside. You take pictures with and whatnot. And also like we have a Phoenix, the Phoenix Children's Hospital, here in Arizona. He has a McDonald's house there where like the kids who have like are sick, their parents stay. So
they call it Ronald McDonald House.
Yes, the Ronald McDonald House.
We have one here too. I didn't realize.
Oh, do you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So I'm glad that I'm glad that that's still around, but it makes me sad that they would get rid of something like that. Same with like things like the Noid. Like these things need to come back.
Now, do you just think that like for Ronald McDonald, like it just wouldn't be the same now? Like I feel like now people would like torment the shit out of him and like film him and like mess with him and shit,
Probably. Yeah.
Like you almost have to only have him on commercials or something. Like to have him out and about like at events, I just feel like he's asking for trouble.
Yeah, people would want to get a reaction out of some negative reaction out of him.
Yeah,
it's not
kind of sucks because it ruins the magic for kids, man. Like it really does.
I was reading that a few years ago they tried to bring back the Noid from Domino's, and people complained about it, so they got rid of him. I was like, why? Like people were like, oh my gosh, this is from the 80s. It's saying like people were complaining about it. So it was like that. It's wild to think that because we live in such a time where we earn for that. Like we love that. So it's just weird that they, Domino's like, all right, well, let's bring back the Noid, and people were not having it. And they put it
crazy.
away.
I miss mascots like that. Like I really
so
do. Even like Cool Spot. Remember he had a damn video game, so didn't the Noid. Like,
yeah,
those guys were over, dude.
Chester Cheetah, man, they were some cool guys.
I just watched. What did I watch? Was it a South Park episode where? Did you see the Ozempic one?
No,
dude. South Park is so freaking clever. They did like an Ozempic one where everybody was taking it and losing weight, and like and then Randy like wanted to kind of use it too, and they did a whole scene where he's at this party and they're trying to get him to do it, and then he does it, and it's like a Lost Boys kind of scene.
Oh no.
And they're all chanting around him and they're saying, Randy, Randy. And they're like, oh, bravo. You're one of us. And they did a whole Lost Boys skit. But then in the show, all the mascots for like cereal and stuff got together because nobody was eating it anymore because they were all doing Ozempic. So they like wanted to like, they started going on like a rampage. They had like Captain Crunch and stuff like that. It was super cool, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's funny.
What the? House of G just says Ronald is retired and lives in his area. What?
Oh, wow.
Is this real life? What does he do?
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw there's like the Ronald McDonald that we really know is from like 90 to 99, and then there was another Ronald McDonald from 2000 to like 2014.
That is
And then they
wild.
brought them back for 2016, and then they stopped. So yeah, it's like I'd like to talk to these Ronalds, see what they're doing. That's awesome, House of G.
That is pretty sick. Wow. All right, dude. What do you got as your number 4?
So I'm gonna go with. Let's see. These were really cool. They were called. It was like Muppet Babies, but they were stuffed animals. Do you remember those?
Was it the Christmas ones?
Yes, the Christmas ones.
And they were like, they had 3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
I really like these a lot. Like these are awesome. And like whenever I like see commercial or picture of them, like it reminds me of like, those things. Yeah.
I still have Fozzie at the house here.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love those. Those are some of my favorite things. I slept with them.
Dude, yeah. I had all 3 of these. These were literally, I screwed up and missed the boat on this as far as putting them on my list, dude. Good call, because I loved these things. And look, you can get the whole set for $25.
It's not bad at all.
Oh, Piggy's got a little stainage going on there. Why is he? What's that guy lifting her skirt for? Sick bastard! Look at
what? Where?
It's like checking out. It's like a nice plump rump on Piggy if you want to buy it.
Oh my god!
Like, why did that have to be a display picture? What do you want to show me? There was poop in there.
You know what? You know what's probably crazy is there's probably been a lot of people questions. So like, hey, can you show me? Is all right. I'm just gonna take a picture of it so nobody asks me these questions anymore.
Yeah, probably to see if it was stained because it's white.
Yeah, which is weird. Wild. Man. Oh.
No, these are definitely. Why does it keep on eBay? Nostalgic. Well, this guy wants 60. Look at, they got the tags. Damn, these are like mint.
Dang.
Yeah, these were classic. Good call on these. So obviously that must have been your sisters, right?
Yeah, and then I must have 87. Yeah, they must have been my sisters, and I just kind of because they had bigger ones too, and I think my sister had those, and she kind of just didn't care about the small ones anymore. So I had those because they had bigger ones.
Mine said if you get them, you can sleep with them again.
Oh yeah, I plan on it 100%.
100%. You go into your room, they're like laid up, they're like on the bed, like on the pillow, ready to go.
They're like in my beard while I'm sleeping.
Right in there. Oh, yeah. Remember this was the classic.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that picture. That would be a good Instagram picture right there around Christmas time. Sick.
So many cool stuff. Dude, that's one thing about when I was looking up these toys for McDonald's, they had some really cool picture displays. It's like, man, these are really cool.
My god.
Like they all had great ones.
Like imagine having all these like in mint condition. These are like would be cool posters to kind of have on the wall. Like all the different ones like this.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I can start my own Instagram and just post these pictures. You know, it's like
100%. That's actually a really good idea, to be honest. People would love that. They love that old school stuff. Look at this.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Holiday Huggables. That's what they were called.
Yeah, man. I remember that. I feel like I remember that commercial, but I must have saw it later on. But yeah, Muppet Babies, dude. I loved Muppet Babies when I was a kid, and it sucks that it never came out on anything because of all the music licensing. Or there's like different music, and there's different the Star Wars was in it and stuff like that. So
they do like the whole episodes. They would dress up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dude, great pick because again, like you said, this was from your sister. You used to have these. I love these things. Totally forgot about them before you just mentioned it. But I'm gonna have to go with my number 3. I'm gonna have to pick the Mario 3 toys. This was huge for me as a kid. And look at the display stand for this thing. So
dang. Can you buy it?
Let's see what this is. But this was so this was no, that's Reddit.
Dang.
So these were so fun. The only problem I had, because as a kid, Mario and Luigi and anything Nintendo was the one action figure line I wanted. Like when I see those in the aisle now, I'm like, dude, I would have went absolutely bananas for those things because, Nintendo was so popular when I was a kid and, I had Nintendo Power. I've talked about this before, and we used to literally have my dad cut out images of the characters from Nintendo Power and put cardboard behind them and paste them on it so we could like pretend they were figures, because we didn't have anything. And then when these came out, we were like, oh my God, these are amazing. But the problem was, which is crazy, I don't remember this one right here, but there was 4. Like Mario was stuck on this freaking suction cup bouncy thing. So it was a pain in the ass.
Okay, I have that. Okay, so I do have these. Yeah, I have him on the, because yes, that used to bother me because you'd have to suction him on 2 different sides, so you have to like lick it on both sides.
I almost can like, dude, literally, like when you say that, I can almost remember the taste because your tongue kind of hit the spring and stuff.
Yeah, yes, dude. That's I haven't thought about that in years. I do have that. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I haven't thought about these since now. In like probably 30
this
years.
Was so badass back then. Like my brother had Luigi, but it's the same thing. We used to like play with them, but like Mario stayed on the spring. I think at one point I might have just said F this and like cut him off there.
Yeah.
But I remember because you used to suction him down and he would jump super high. My brother's using Luigi, but he's like sitting on a cloud the whole time.
Yeah.
The coolest one of the whole bunch was like the Goomba, because he used to do like, he'd walk and then do like a backflip or something like that. And the turtle thing sucked because you'd have to like push that pump and it would move like small little inches. Like you'd have to pump it and he would like barely move. But I do think you could rip that pump off too. So the villains were good, but Mario and Luigi sucked. But and at the time though, fun as hell, because this was the closest thing to anything Mario figure related back then.
I mean, I totally forgot about those. Because when you were talking about Mario, I was like, yeah, I've never had anything Mario. And then I just saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, I did have that.
So cool, man. That was like,
and yeah, I remember licking both sides. Yeah. and that's kind of gross too, because like you never washed it off. So you just like, the next week you're licking it again and you're just like,
well, what you should do is you should go on eBay and you should buy like somebody's set and then just lick it and then stick it on the thing. It was like somebody else's set.
Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. Yeah.
Look at that, dude. There we go. Nice. So that is my number 3. Cody, what do you got for us? Top 3, baby.
Okay, so my next one is going to be, let's see, I have 2 more on my list.
You have 2 more?
Yeah. Right?
Do you have 10? Or maybe because we had some of the same.
Okay, so yeah. So, but I can add something on here, because I do have one. So my next one is going to be the Power Rangers movie toys. So these were cool. Like it would come with a figure, and it would come in like a Zordon or one of their vehicles. And I had them all, but my favorite was the White Ranger, and it was cool because they worked like cool figures. So they worked really well as action figures. And I remember when this movie came out, I remember like parents were taking their kids out of school to go to like the dentist, and then they go to McDonald's and they go see the movie. And I remember I was like, oh man, maybe my parents will take me out. I know it wasn't gonna happen because I never saw the movie in theaters, but I just remember that being very like, I remember like, like Patrick at school was like, dude, guess what? At noon, my dad's coming in. He's taking me to McDonald's. We're gonna go see the Power Ranger movie. I was like, wow. And then I feel
that ever.
I know. And in my mind, I felt like every kid was leaving to go do that, but I'm sure it was only like 2 kids. But I felt like, man, everyone's leaving. And I remember going home and, hey, can we go see the Power Ranger movies? Like, oh, maybe next week. And then whenever they said maybe next week, I knew I was never seeing it until.
So
VHS.
It was the first time you saw it on VHS?
Yeah. Yeah. I
think mine was too. I don't think I saw this in the theaters, but I was a big Power Ranger fan as well. But I was on the tipping point of Power Rangers. Like I was watching it, but I was on that fine line, and I remember like going and trying to find the figures, but they only had those like doll ones that were like big.
The big doll ones.
So I didn't really get into the figures because I was getting older, and because they were so big, I was like, I literally felt like I was going to be playing with dolls. So I was like, I can't buy these. But these are cool, man. These are pretty damn badass because they were smaller. They come with the Zords. And I'm looking at it now, but like maybe I'm confused. Because Jason wasn't in the movie, right? He was already gone at that point, wasn't he?
No, this was Rocky. So it's the Red
that's why
Ranger,
I'm
but
saying,
they
'cause
switched
I
out
don't
with
remember
Rocky.
him having
Yeah.
an ape.
No, so yeah. So in the movie, they all got different powers and different Zords, and so 3 of them were replaced while they were filming the movie, which was Trini, Jason, and Zach. They all, because they wanted to do negotiations for their contracts and they wanted to get paid more because they were overworked and they didn't get paid a lot. And
Well, it sucks because those Zach and Jason were like, they were so popular, those characters. And I remember they did it. It was like Rocky and Adam, right? Wasn't that the other guy?
Yeah, and they debuted in the movie, and I can't remember who the girl was that was in. But it was weird watching the show, and then you go to watch the movie, and you're like, who the hell are these people? You know?
Now, did they do like a send off to the other guys, or they just weren't? I don't
No,
remember. Were they not even in it at all?
They were just replaced. Yeah, I think Jason came back later on to do something.
Like, yeah, he was like he was like the Gold Ranger or something. And then
because I stopped watching it when it got to Turbo, but I think Jason's in that movie.
Okay, he might be. I don't know. I might have Turbo, but I don't remember it. But I got out of Rangers like once. Like I remember the White Ranger, but then I kind of got out of it after that. I loved the whole Green Ranger saga and all that stuff. That was like my favorite. But when White Ranger came, I started to get out of it a little bit. But I do kind of remember those replacement guys where, do you know if this was the first appearance of them or did they show up in the show before the movie?
No, they showed up. The movie was the first time they showed up because they were doing negotiations for the movie and they were kind of fired.
Wow.
And then they got those. And then once the show started again, I don't remember watching the show after either. I think the movie is when I stopped watching it. I was after that.
Yeah, I just I definitely don't remember that.
Yeah, the hype was so real with these people, man. With the movie, I was so excited for the movie, man. And I remember having the action figures where their heads flipped. So I had all of those, and I even had I had a carrying case where I could carry them in. And I remember telling you the story about how I used to wear Mighty Morphin Power Ranger boxers as my shorts at school.
I do remember that.
So I was all in for some.
I mean, so you were probably like the prime age for these, right? Then,
yeah. So like 93, yeah.
Because they were cool, man. When that show came out, I was like I said, I was loving it, but I was also kind of like iffy because I knew I was probably like I might be the only kid in my school watching this show religiously.
Yeah,
and then
I
probably
wasn't
started
cool
to
at the time. Yeah, for me, I was a little kid,
Yeah. Everyone was like, Jason was like had the bench pressing record or whatever, and it was like he did like 300 reps in one hit. Like, what the hell? So jacked.
Yeah, dude, in the movie, remember they're like, "Uh-oh, we're in trouble." Remember that song? Yeah. They're like watching the fireworks. Ivan Ooze, he's trying to sell the ooze to the kids.
He was a good character, though. I thought that was a pretty cool character. Yeah. The fact that, like, was Rita in the movie or no?
Man, I don't remember. I think so. I think Zord or him and Lord Zed was in the. I haven't seen the movie in forever, but I have it on Blu-ray. I should probably watch it. It was a good. I have a bunch of T-shirts too. I did a drop from Peter Graham Pentagram did a drop on the movie, and I bought a bunch of the stuff.
Shirts.
I haven't worn, the shirts and stuff. Because dude, the poster was awesome. I should probably look up the poster, try to get that poster. It was like all of them on the side of their face. It's funny because there's a picture. That picture reminds me of a photo that G Unit did, and it's my favorite photo of G Unit. And to me, I'm just it would be cool to have the G Unit next to like the Power
Rangers, like right next to it. Maybe that was an inspiration. Who knows?
It might have been, but yeah, it was pretty funny to see. The photos were very, very close.
This is a good pick, man. I mean, you get a figure and a Zord. I mean, that's a pretty badass set you got right there, and it seems pretty. I wonder how much something like that would go for now.
I don't know, but
that whole set.
I'm pretty sure I had them all. If not, I didn't have the female ones.
No Kimberly love, huh?
Well, I had a lot of Kimberly love.
He's like, you know what I thought about the bunny? Way more.
Yeah, I had a huge crush on Kimberly, and it was one of these things where like my sister was too old, so she wasn't a fan of Power Rangers, so she never really got into it. So it's not like I could play with her toys kind of thing when it came to.
Did you ever hear the story about Jason Patrick when it was time for him to start doing conventions, and Sean Clark was representing him, and Sean Clark, I guess, was promoting him for a couple conventions. And as soon as he was promoted for his first ever convention, it was a Horror Hound. I got tickets to fly there because, oh my God, Jason Patrick, I got to go. And he ended up canceling. And I was so bummed because I had already bought tickets to go. So I went anyways, but he wasn't there. And, he ended up not working with Sean Clark. And I guess they had a little bit of not a fallout, but Sean Clark was really trying to market him with like Lost Boys and stuff like that. And Jason Patrick was kind of like, well, what the heck? Like I did other movies too. Like, and he's like, yeah, but it's a horror convention. Like people are going to want Lost Boys stuff, and he's like, no, I was in this. He's like, I don't know if people are going to want sleepers, for like photos and stuff. And so they're kind of going back and forth. And then he was like, well, I should charge this. And he's like, yeah, no, it's your first convention. Like maybe we should back it up just to kind of feel it out and see what people will do. And I guess he ended up like making a couple calls and calling Sean or something to be like, I'm going to go in a different direction. I talked to one of my friends and it was Kimberly from Rangers, one of my good friends. And she told me how much money she charges at Comic-Con. He's like, yeah, dude, like that's Comic-Con. That's a Power Ranger. Like you can't base it off that, like, you're going to like a horror convention and you haven't done one that you can't base it off the Power Rangers. Like they can charge that at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And like that was like, I think that was like the big reason he like got a different person, a handler or some kind of like a different agent, because like Amy Jo Johnson or whatever, like told her how much she charges or something. So Jason Patrick was all pissed off.
It's like the Jeepers Creepers dude being like, well, Robert Englund makes this. It's like, okay, buddy, slow your roll.
That's kind of what it was.
You
got
Power Rangers,
understand. Like that stupid show. I was in Lost Boys, damn it. I was in Speed 2. Damn it.
I know. I think they don't understand. Like when I'm sure that was years ago, because when I met him this past July,
it was a long time ago. It was probably 10 years ago, maybe more.
Okay, he was very nice, but his price. I saw his price, and then I was like, okay, well, on Friday, and I was like, I'll meet him on Saturday. Dude, he crossed off his price and added $10. That made
he probably looked around and said, if the Power Ranger over there, that's Adam. He's not even the original one. I'm gonna jack my price up.
Dude, he had no line the whole weekend though. Which was kind of sad. He was really nice, but yeah, he had hardly any line. I don't know if it's because
cross Lost Boys out. Put Terrifier 3 and see if they can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100%. His dad was in The Exorcist. Yeah.
Well, and then something like, because he was right next to Lou Diamond Phillips, and Lou Diamond Phillips was all about talking about bats. Like he was that movie Bats. Like
really?
I went up there to talk to him. I had a La Bamba poster for him to sign. And he signed it, and I happened to say, I was like, hey, I'm a huge fan of Bats. And he just went, he's like, Bats. Oh, my favorite line is from Bats. He just lit up and was going on and on about Bats and this and that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like he was very, very nice. And then Jason Patrick was just sitting there all by himself. So when I went to him, like I had him sign something for like Lost Boys, he seemed out of it or something, but he was very nice because I mentioned something about how I like Speed 2, and he actually talked. Like he kind of perked up about Speed 2. He's like, you know what?
I like Speed 2. I like Speed 2. It gets a lot of shit, but I always liked it.
And he was talking about, he's like, dude, a lot of people are liking this now. A lot of people, like, I have to get more Speed 2 stuff with every convention I go to, this and that. But yeah, because when I walked up to him, he was like texting on his phone. He didn't look up. I was there for a while. He looked up and he was like, oh, just one moment. And I was probably staying there for about 5 minutes while he was texting somebody. So I don't know if there's something going on.
You and say, I'm texting the Pink Ranger.
Prices might go up. Kimberly's his handler. Just
yeah. Kimberly is Zordon. He like messages her. How much you charging over there,
dude? And it's funny because I met Kimberly and I don't think she was that much.
No,
and it was at a Comic-Con. Yeah, no, yeah, she was very nice too.
Funny.
Susie Q.
but yeah, that's an interesting, tidbit, I guess, about the weird connection between Jason Patrick and Kimberly from Power Rangers. But
That's so
again,
funny.
great pick. I've got two left. This one is kind of a deep cut. It's old, but these were super, super cool. And they were called changeables. And I'm sure when you see them, you might remember them. So basically, it was like, oh my God. It was like the figures, but they kind of turned into robots. So you had like French fries, the ice cream, the burger, and you could change them. Look at. Can you see those?
Bigger? Not really.
Hold on, let me see. Where am I? Oh, you know why? I'm on a different screen. It didn't pop over. Hold on a second. My bad. All right, let me find a good picture of it. So, can you see this?
Yeah. Okay, I remember those. Yeah.
Remember those, right? So it was like all the different foods, and then you would make them into robots.
Yeah, they're like Transformers. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, but they were like McDonald's food. I always loved those. Look at they've got the display right here.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
$500 on eBay, 1988.
Wow.
So I knew this was going to be a tough one. These were old, but yeah, I think they may have come back a couple times throughout the years, but I think it's a pretty cool concept that you could I always wanted to keep them like this, and I had like a little fake McDonald's setup and stuff like that. Do they still do the hotcakes? Is that still
I think so. Like for breakfast, I'm not a big pancake fan, so I always get the sausage egg McMuffin. Yeah, whenever I'm up for it.
Yeah, look at that. Well, which will be tonight, so figure it out. Whatever. You guys serving breakfast or what? But yeah, I loved these changeable things. These things were cool, and I used to just love the fact that I had like a little McDonald's burger and fries, and I would just keep them just like that displayed on my shelf as a kid.
Yeah, that's cool.
But did you have any of these? Did you say or no?
I think I remember playing with them, so my sister must have had them.
Yeah, super cool, underrated. Another one that I feel like would be pretty popular if it came back around. Look at this ad. This is pretty cool. Changeables, Big Mac, milkshake, Egg McMuffin, French fries. Very cool. Look at the Egg McMuffin though, dude.
I know that. That's so cool, dude. And maybe I'm not, because I'm not paying attention to what's going on in McDonald's now, really. But I feel like they should come out with some kind of version of these.
Oh hell yeah, they should, for real. I mean, even if it's just, again, for us now, they ended up doing changeable dinosaurs too. So like they did these ones where like,
oh yes, because I remember that the one that's 87, but yeah, I remember the one in the box there. It's like a crocodile.
This one is probably this one. Oh geez, what am I doing? One of them is probably like 90, and then
yeah,
because it said 1987 to 90. So some of these I think came back out when they did the dinosaur ones. But yeah, so definitely cool one there was my number 2.
Dang, it's really cool.
What do you got, Cody, left there?
So I have one more.
All right, what's your number 1, dude?
I've number 1, and then something else I could talk about after your number 1. Okay. So my number 1 is going to be Michael Jordan Fitness Fun.
What?
Yes. So these were cool. Michael Jordan Fitness Fun, McDonald's. Yeah. So
no.
Yeah, we had a lot of these. Yes. So like they had a timer. They had a football, a frisbee, a basketball. Yes. Like this stuff right here. So that football, they had a football and the basketball. I had like most kids our age had like the hoop on their door.
Dude, well, you know what's so funny? I think I did have that basketball, and I used to use it on the hoop on the door.
Yeah. So my whole childhood, I played with that ball and that hoop. No matter that and the football, I always had. So my whole childhood, I had those with me, and I'd always I didn't play with them all the time, but whenever I wanted to play with the basketball, I'd play with that. So the basketball and the football, I have like really big nostalgic for. And I had the water bottle because I remember I used to fill it with milk. And then I had the timer as well. But yeah, that football, if you go down further down, that football was everything. Go down a little bit more. Yeah, so that football thing. That was I love that football. And yeah, I had Michael Jordan all over. Michael Jordan was huge in my house. And so whenever Michael Jordan had something, we usually had it around.
Wow, dude. This just brought back so many memories, man, because this unlocked a lot because I definitely had this ball. And I even think I had the jump rope, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
And obviously, I didn't really use the jump rope, but I can remember the colorway of that jump rope. But the ball, we definitely used on my Nerf basketball thing. I had one in my bedroom as a kid, and we used to use it all the time. And you know what we used to do? It's actually kind of friggin' dude. You know, when you were kids, you didn't have any social media. You came up with the weirdest shit to do. So we used to play basketball in my room, and you know, behind the bed was like a 3-pointer and all this other stuff. And we used to have friends come over and we'd have like one-on-one games like in the bedroom, but we would like be bands, and like you'd be and it was almost like you'd kind of have a 2-on-2 kind of like NBA Jam. I was like just like two guys versus two guys. But we'd all be like different bands. So I remember like I always wanted to be Nirvana because Chris Novoselic was like so tall and he could like dunk and shit like that. So like you think about it back then, you're like, what a weird concept. And then like my friend would come over and he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Rancid. And you're like, it's like weird. Like, what the fuck is wrong with us? Like that's how freaking wild it was back then. Like that was the imagination that was being like different bands, like 9 Inch Nails versus Nirvana and fucking basketball. It's like little kids playing, like pretending they're these band members.
Well, like that's why you watch movies back then, and there's like wild concepts. It's because we were wild and had concepts, you know, like because all we had was our brain to go off of, you know.
That's a good point, man. And I think I was gonna do a short about this on like what I think is kind of wrong with Hollywood nowadays, and I really do think it's the idea of like the wackiness of an idea sometimes, which seems maybe stupid on paper, but it ends up becoming such a cult classic. Like I was thinking the other day, I was looking through some of my movies, like we talk about, you know, Over the Top and how silly that is. Oh, it's going to be a truck driver that does like an arm wrestling tournament in Vegas. Like it's silly. It's stupid, you know,
but it's so serious though when you watch it. Yeah.
Right. But even like Mannequin, I was thinking about like, imagine going to the table with that now, or going to the table with like Splash and be like, he's gonna be in love with a mermaid. Like it's just insanity of a concept, but they all worked. And I think that's what we're missing is like just the bonkers idea of like, hey, this kid goes to school and he becomes a werewolf and plays basketball and his team like really good. Like, I don't think anybody would like bring that to the table anymore without feeling like they're going to get laughed at.
Yeah. Well, it's like, Christina Ricci said at her Walk of Fame thing, and I think you actually posted it about. She said we need movie lovers to be in control again, not corporations, kind of thing. It's like that's what it is. Like they're not fans, and it sucks because we are the ones that should be running this stuff because we're that age now. But I don't know, money speaks so much louder than.
I know, but everything feels so generic. I feel like once it gets to that like studio level, like yeah, obviously you've got like more of the independent movies and stuff that are really cool, but I just feel like when it gets to that level of unless it's like Marvel and they can kind of think outside the box because it's not real, it's like everything's just too generic. And you're right, Brian. He says, you know, he's a wolf in school and nobody even questions it. Like they don't stop the game. They just let him play. He like goes to class and everybody just accepts the fact that this dude is a wolf. And like nobody says anything. Like it's wild.
Well, like if you watch like an early 90s or late 80s action movie, like as soon as they kill the bad guy, it's over. Like the movie's over. Like all of a sudden, like is that slow pan, and then it's like, you know, like the ambulance is showing up, and it's like the credits roll. Now you have to show them at home what they're doing. Like you have to have like that kind of ending. They're like, well, what happened to the? You know, it's not that it just doesn't end anymore. Like we need to see everything, kind of thing, and we don't need to see it.
And like the same idea, it wasn't a werewolf, but Encino Man, same thing. Like this caveman goes to school, the coolest kid ever, you know. Like, I just don't think anybody's bringing weird ideas like that. Like right now, somebody should bring an idea of like these bands playing basketball against each other. I mean, it's like just as wacky of an idea as that is.
Yeah. Even but basketball, it like reminds me of Basketball. Remember that movie Basketball?
Yeah.
It's like how random is that? But it's a funny movie, fun concept, and it worked. And we talk about it now to this day.
100%. Like some of these, I'm just looking really quick at some of these movies, and I'm just like, is there anything that's like totally bonkers off the wall? But you just don't see a lot of that anymore. It's like even like Rookie of the Year. Like, oh, we're gonna do this movie. This kid plays baseball, but he breaks his arm, and he's got like this weird like elbow thing, and he can throw fast. Like, it's like,
dude,
he's gonna be in the major league.
Dude, I low key think about Rookie of the Year more than I should. Like I think about maybe twice a week. I don't know why.
It's a great movie, man. I saw it in the damn theaters, dude.
So did I.
Like, it was one of those things that it's like it was so bonkers that a little kid can play pro ball in the World Series and stuff. It's wild.
And I always think about Daniel Stern getting stuck between the two doors. Like whenever I'm at like a hotel, like even now at my age, I see a hotel door and I think of that scene.
Yeah, 100%. I think they need to get some balls and just think wacky outside the box concepts that will become cult classics in the future. Because I think back in the 80s and the 90s and stuff, like if the idea was creative enough, they just like, oh yeah, I'll try it, see what happens.
And then if they do,
like, oh no, that's silly.
Well, and now when they do stuff, if they do something off the wall like that, they really dumb it down to where it's like, okay, well this seems like it's going to be straight to Nickelodeon or something. It's not like you need to be serious about your wacky idea. Some people get that confused.
Yeah, like what we said, where the arm wrestling stuff and Teen Wolf, like in some this it would be like he'd be an arm wrestling thing, and it'd be half the people in the movie would be like making fun of him about it. Where like
exactly,
it was, like, a legit thing, like his jam,
this underground world,
All right, let's start to close this gap here. My number one, baby. And the reason it's my number one is because I played with these so much, and I thought you were going to say it earlier. Oh my God, where is it? I'm going to different pages. The Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
Do you remember these, dude?
I remember that, yes.
Oh my God, I was upset. 49 cents each. Look at this. Wow. With these things. Like, and because what I liked about these is like what I talked about before, is that I loved action figures, but you never had Muppet Baby action figures. And these felt like actual figures. Like you had them all on like kind of vehicles type thing, but you could take them all out and then you could mix and match them. Right. So like, you could put Fozzie on the skateboard and vice versa. I played with these things in the tub, in the sandbox, on the driveway, like in my room. Like I loved these damn things. Like if I was to probably go back and get any set, I would probably try to get these. As stupid and silly as they are, they were just like universal. And I felt like this was the only way to get Muppet Baby type toys back then when I was little. And I just thought that they were just super cool. Look at that, 49 cents, man.
Yeah, 49 cents.
And I played with these things a lot when I was really little. Like I remember getting all 4 of these. And there was like a 5th one, which was Animal, but I don't know what his story is because I don't really remember him. So see, like he's not on the thing. So I don't know where he came from, but he's on this one.
Yeah.
Huh. Because he's not even in this lot. Like I didn't have him, I don't think. So I don't know if he was like.
I remember him in the show a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
for some reason, I don't remember him on the line unless he was like an exclusive. There he is. Huh? Interesting. I'm curious to know if he was an exclusive or something like that. For something like a Canada exclusive or whatever. I have no idea.
Either that, or he came out. And like maybe he had a choking hazard, so they took him off or something.
Could have, but what's this? Like this is different. So maybe they redid them again, and maybe he was part of a different. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, because that's a different. That's a weird logo.
Yeah, these were awesome, man. These were super cool.
I always thought it'd be cool for them to like release hey, let's have Muppet Baby stuff. Like, but then again, it's like the kids aren't going to be like, Mom, I need those Muppet Babies. It's like, dang, like it would be cool to have them re-release some of these things that were so popular in our childhood.
As weird it is, Muppet Babies, it was a popular show.
It was a great show.
Surprisingly, you would think that people that watch the Muppets were like, I don't want to watch Muppet Babies cartoons. It's weird. But it was a really good show.
Yeah. Well, like shows back then, like cartoons, they were like they were still normal. Like it wasn't like, I feel like when it got to like SpongeBob and that after that, everything was so slapstick. Where like when you watch like if I were to explain Doug to a kid now, like the show, have you seen the show Doug, right?
Of course, yeah.
So if you explain that show to a kid and had him watch Doug, that would probably be a super boring show because it's basically him just going to school, hanging out with his friends, and he just has a random idea or he has a crazy imagination, and that's pretty much it. It's just him living a normal life, and that was cool for us to watch. But nowadays, you need them to like, you need them to jump off buildings or get ran over by something. It's just it's wild. They have to do something wild and whatnot. And this is me. I haven't seen a cartoon in years, so a new cartoon in years, so I have no idea what they're like. But I assume that's what they're funny like.
Because based on my age, I've never seen SpongeBob ever. Like I know it, and I might have caught like a couple scenes of it, but I was never a show that I watched ever. Like my brother did.
I never watched it either.
Oh, you didn't? Because I felt like it came out when I was a little bit too old. Like the last Nickelodeon type show I remember watching regularly was like,
was it Hey Arnold? Because Hey Arnold was probably the last show that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably, but I still didn't watch that much. Rocky was Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life.
The one that was like the last one that I watched. But I mean, Ren and Stimpy was like life for me. So like I was probably when that was popular, I was in like middle school or something.
Oh, and Ren and Stimpy was for the cool kids.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Was Ren and Stimpy back in the day. Like every Saturday night when Snick came on, it was like Ren and Stimpy and Are You Afraid of the Dark? As long as we got home for those two, or I was happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Rocket Power. I used to watch Rocket Power as well. That was towards the end. That? Rocket Power, that's pretty cool. They were in Hawaii and they were like extreme sports. Like one has a bike, one had like rollerblades, the other one was on a skateboard. It was a cartoon, called Rocket Power. Oh. Yeah. And they owned like their Uncle Tito had a restaurant on the beach. It was pretty good. It was kind of like, have you ever seen the show Brink or the movie Brink? Okay. Yeah, there was a Disney movie called Brink, and it was kind of like extreme sports. And that was kind of like the cartoon version of it. It was pretty good stuff.
See, a lot of that stuff. Like when we did our other episodes, like remember we did I think we did Snick, right? And then there was a lot of shows I still wasn't really familiar with that had come out later on.
Yeah.
So guys, if you haven't checked that out, we do a cool Nickelodeon show that you guys have to go check out. But man, this was cool. Going back in time, I learned some new things. What do you want to do? Some honorable mentions over there? What you got?
Yeah, I wanted to show off some of these cool cups I have here.
What do we got here?
We got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Is that from McDonald's?
These are from McDonald's, yeah.
Wow.
These are McDonald's and Coke. These are really cool. And then I have Roger Rabbit.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And these are like the nice cups, you can upgrade for $1.99 or something. Then my last one, this is something I really love and I wish it would come back, is Mac Tonight. I love
what's funny is I didn't realize I was looking up toys and stuff. They had Mac Tonight toys. I never had any of that.
We had those, yeah.
I remember him for sure, yeah.
Mac Tonight is cool commercials. But shout out to Red Planet Video. I got these cups from them because these are cups I wanted my whole life, and I saw that they had some, so I ordered them from her.
Really?
Yeah, she had a whole bunch of different McDonald's cups that she was been like accumulating over the years, I guess.
Did she say they were for sale and you jumped on it, or did she post them and you say I want those?
Yeah, she posted. She's like, "What am I going to do with all these? Should I sell them?" And I was like, "Hey, I have a question." But there was a lot. Yeah, she had like Batman Returns cups. Like I wanted all of them, but I didn't want to be rude. Send them all. but yeah, like I could have bought all of them off of her. Yeah. Like they were just these are really cool, really nostalgic. I'm a fan of, I'm a cup collector, and it sucks. It's like I'll buy stuff like this, but I'll never use it, like because I'm afraid it's gonna, all
ruin the paint and stuff like
ruin
that.
the paint and stuff. But yeah, like this one's from '88. This one is from where is it? They all have the dates on it. This one is from '89.
Wow.
Oh no, this is '88 as well. And then this one is from. This one does not have the date on it, but this one's older. This is probably mid 80s, like 86 or something.
Avery, we talked about that a little earlier about the VHS tapes that they had at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. He said, Brian said that he's got the Batman Forever glass cups.
Yeah, I've one of the. I do have the one of the glass, and it's packed away, and I can't. I tried looking for it, and I couldn't find it because I'm trying to find my Batman Forever glass cups. I'm trying to find my Ninja Turtles cereal bowls because I have those as well.
Ooh.
Do you remember those?
Yes,
I have those. I'm trying to find them, but I have them packed away somewhere. But those glasses were awesome. I used to drink all my hot chocolate out of those when I was a kid.
It's classic.
Yeah,
but man, this was cool going back in time and talking about this. Guys, if you like going back, unlocking memories and stuff like that, make sure you check out our playlist over at the Rad Dudes on the channel there. And my co-host Cody at Dude Who Loves Movies, make sure you go check out his channel. He's on Instagram, he's on YouTube. Cody, what do you got going on over there now? We still talking 90s, or we moving on? What are we doing?
No, we're done with 90s, but then I my next video coming out is kind of 90s related. So my channel always has 90s stuff going on. So if you're sad that I'm done with the 90s month, there's still 90s month going to be sprinkled in. But I have some Leprechaun stuff that I have some unique Leprechaun stuff that I got that I think I want to show off.
Really?
That nobody else has. Yeah.
Wow, that is unique, man. Having some Leprechaun stuff that people don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much Leprechaun stuff out there unless it's like.
I'll show a little bit of it.
What the fuck is that?
Let's just say it's a leopard.
It's like a vehicle.
Yeah, it's a little place that I got here.
All right, you're gonna have to show me when we get there. Yeah, that is insane. Cool. You guys are gonna have to go over to his channel if you want to see this. I don't think I know of any kind of Leprechaun toy. That's weird, man. What the hell?
It's from Leprechaun 2.
You guys are gonna have to go check that out for sure. That Dude Who Loves Movies. If you can find me here at Born to Be Rad. Some videos I did. I talk a little bit about the Phantasm series. I just did a video talking about my discovery of Faces of Death at Walmart. If you guys want to talk about my history with that flick or those flicks, I'll go check those out. There's always stuff brewing on the channel. You can find me on Instagram at Born to Be Rad as well. And like I said, if you like this content, definitely go back and check out the other episodes of the Rad Dudes. This was the 10th episode. And if you are a channel member on this page or the Radpack page, you do get access to the members only live streams, and we have one at the end of the month where we will be doing a little members only live show if you guys want to check that out. Cody, do you have anything else you want to promote here before we leave tonight?
No, I did give away 10 memberships. I think they last a month or so, and I don't know if they were all taken or not. I saw some of them were taken. I don't know if there's more, but so if you want, you can scroll up, see if there's any more available.
Look at that, yes, a free month membership to the channel, and you get to watch the Radpack members only stream live at Justin's. So you definitely want to check that out. But man, Cody, thank you. It's always a pleasure getting to do this with you. I wish we could do it more. Just life has been so crazy. Hopefully we don't wait another 3 months before the next Rad Dudes episode.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to come back with something nostalgic. So if you guys have any ideas at all, put it down in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to hear us tackle some nostalgic type stuff, definitely put those down in the comments below. And thank you guys for checking this out. This is Garrett and Cody. And like always, stay rad.
Stay you.